on Saturday.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges. The growing youth population with little engagement, that is a ticking time bomb. We are a blessed people with diverse culture and highly cerebral minds who have a lot to say. And yes, we are talking. It is important we drive the right conversation that informs, inspires, influences thoughts and action. If we say there's beauty in our diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture. We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation as we are the hope for the future. Yesterday's conversations shape today. What are you saying to shape your tomorrow? We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Welcome to your favorite program, The Moment of Truth, brought to you by the Citadel Global Community Church. Our God is a God of salvation, far above all principality and power, and might and dominion, that regardless of what happens in this season, you will escape. Say to your neighbor, there is no peace for the wicked. The lazy man does not roast what he took in hunting, but diligence is a man's precious possession. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Moment of Truth with Pastor Tunde Bakare, Sundays, 7 p.m. on PlusTvAfrica.
As the Edo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, takes steps to resolve its crisis, National Chairman Iyorchia Ayu warns that Governor Godwin Obaseki must not be allowed to leave the party. And in preparation for 2023 elections, the Redeemed Church of God, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, launches a political department to mobilize support for its members to run for office. This is Plus Politics. I am Mary Anako. The crisis rocking the Edo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, may be resolved as soon as the national leadership of the party said it will set up a committee that would meet with the aggrieved party members in the state. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Iyorchia Ayu, also warned members of the party in Edo State that Governor Godwin Obaseki must not be allowed to leave the party. He said the infighting within the party, if not resolved, would make them lose the state. Ayu noted that the party lost Edo State in 2008 because of the infighting between the camps of late Tony Aneni and Chief Ibinedion. Now, the party has been engulfed in crisis since the governor, Obaseki, was elected on its platform, and those who defected with the governor from the APC not getting recognized in their new party. Well, joining us to discuss this is Deputy Chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State, Mr. Lucky Omagwon. Thank you very much, Mr. Omagwon.
Thank you. My name is not Lucky. Harrison.
Sorry?
My name is not Lucky, but Harrison.
Harrison Omagwon. Oh,
yeah.
I apologize for that. Yes, Mr. Omagwon. Exactly why do you think that the people who migrated into the party was the governor, Godwin Obaseki? Why do you think that they feel unwelcomed? Because that seems to be the story that we're all hearing.
Yes, well, thank you. Thank you for having me. If we have to say the current situation in Edo, I don't think that we really have any crisis within the party. What we have within the party is the ambition of some few individuals that have decided to take the governor hostage. Because what is about the crisis now has to do with 2023 and 2024. And you all know that the governor is not planning to run for a third tenure. And the governor is not planning to run for any election now. But those people who have the ambition to run for 2023 and 2024 have decided to take the governor hostage and pressurizing him to dissolve or to reconcile or harmonize the structures of the party. That are you hearing me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Hello?
I can hear you, Mr. Magbon. Go ahead.
Good. What we are having is that these people have interest for 2023 and 2024 are trying to pressurize the governor to what they call harmonization or integration. Other than that, I don't think there's any known crisis within the party in Edo State. I know that when the governor came in, he is the governor of the state, there's no doubt about that. When he came in, and the very first meeting he had with us, he gave us the assurances that all were well with the party and that he was willing to work with the structures in net on ground. And things were going very well until some of these individuals who are not checking day and night or wanting to leave the party if they don't get what they want. But down there, the governor has always reiterated that nothing whatsoever will make him disability.
Okay.
And that he has, from his species, he has always been very close to PDP and is resolute in his stand not to leave PDP.
Great.
But these individuals who are winning the government vote, they are creating the impression that all is not well within PDP. And I want to assure you and assure our people that all is very well within PDP in the new state.
As much as we all want to believe you, because of course you are a member of the executive in the political party, but there's a video that's been making rounds on social media with the deputy governor of the state in that video. Let's take a listen to what he has to say, and then when you come back, we'd like to hear from you.
Come again, please.
There's a video that has been making rounds on social media with the deputy governor of the state talking about the problems within the party. Would like to put out that video. I want you to listen carefully to what he has to say, and then we'll talk.
For the issue of PDP, I want to also thank the chairman for being firm and courageous. I thought our chairman was not a courageous one, but now I know he's a courageous one and firm. Chairman, well done. When Mr. Governor has spoken, the deputy is not supposed to speak, but I'm speaking on behalf of Edo North. So, Mr. Governor, for Edo North, Edo South, Edo Central, I use the word the three senatorial. And flowing from what I know, my chairman in APC, that we joined, follow you to PDP, Aslam Odizwa, and all that chairmen and executive that left with us. Mr. Governor, we are tired. We are actually tired. Every time we come, we'll soon. When will this soon be over? Mr. Governor, we all agree that anywhere you go, we will follow you. We still stand by that. But Mr. Governor, we escorted you to PDP. We have not still been accepted. That's the truth. We have not still been accepted. We have not been accepted. Mr. Governor, your leadership style is what has kept us this far. Your leadership style, you have been telling us to be patient, and we believe in you. We believe that you always take us to that promised land. And that is that perseverance that will make us to still remain in PDP. I am speaking their mind. Mr. Governor, we don't want to be like the cow. In my language, they say, Rubodu Rogbi Manu. That is, patient and kill cow. You tie a leg, you keep quiet. As big as you tie a neck, tie everything before. Mr. Governor, please and please. In Edo State, see me sitting with my brother, Tony Anini Jr., my auntie, Mrs. Inye, our chairman's wife, beautiful people in PDP, excited to work with them. They make us feel.
So, Mr. Magbon, you heard the Deputy Governor, Mr. Shaibu, there talking about the fact that they're tired of not being brought into the fold. And he made mention of all the people that they came with from the APC. He's also continuously said that they will continue to stand by the governor. They will go anywhere Governor Obaseki is going, but that they're tired of how they're being treated within the PDP. So I want to ask, from what you have been saying, that there are a few people who are trying to hold the governor hostage. It seems the governor was at that event and he was addressing the governor directly, saying they are tired of being treated badly. Now, if you're also saying that there's nothing wrong within the party, why is Mr. Yocha Ayu trying to set up a peace panel to deal with the issues within the party?
When issues like this are on ground, and some individuals are creating the impression that there's crisis, the obvious thing is for the chairman of the party to set up a panel to look into it. But that aside, if we must address the real issue, I want to use the opportunity to advise people who are privileged to be in top position to try as much as possible not to betray the trust and confidence of the people that brought them into power. They must at all times try as much as possible to be civil, to be frank and truthful, and behave as best very responsible, so that the people will have that confidence and trust to send them to other places. But when somebody in his position wants to resort fast for his own self-interest, is rather unfree.
What is that political best interest? I'm sorry, Mr. Magbon, what is that interest that you think Deputy Governor Shaibu has? Are you saying that he's nursing an ambition that, yes?
Said a while ago that people who are interested in 2023 and 2024, they are the ones pressurizing the governor to presume that there's crisis within the party in the state. And I am telling you, if we want to really sit back and want to start asking questions about management of the party from government, you will know who the aggressors are. But that is not the issue now.
So, but what's stopping the party from sitting back and seeing and asking those questions that you say you need to ask? What's stopping the party from sitting back, asking those questions, finding out if the truth is there is no problem, that there are certain people who are just trying to foment this trouble? What's stopping the party from doing that, instead of assuming that there are people who are nursing ambitions? And then what's wrong with nursing an ambition for 2023? I mean, it's campaign season. People will be.
You say there's personal interest in all these things, and you will not expect that party officers will start joining issues who they are supposed to manage to ensure victory for the party. Whether you like anybody likes it or not, the party is the producer of government. Okay. The government is a product of the party. So when people in government now want to start hosting party officers to ransom, it's unfortunate. And then you journalists to be in a position to educate them that they are products of the party. And the party is superior to government.
I'm a journalist, but I cannot get involved in your internal party process. And that's why I'm having you on this show, so you educate us as to what exactly is happening within your party. I'm not to educate anybody about what's happening in your party.
Yes,
you're a party man.
Within the party, I am telling you that we don't have any crisis. And as far as we are concerned, some individuals, for their personal gains and benefits and certain interests, and to attain their ambition, they are participating crisis in the party. And we are not prepared to join issues with anybody in that category.
So what is the essence of the peace committee that is being or about to be set up? What is the essence? If you're not going to join issues...
If the national chairman, in his wisdom, set up a committee for to look into the matter, by the time the truth will be out, we will now know who the aggressors are.
Great. So going forward now, because, I mean, if you're saying that certain people are nursing ambitions, if the deputy governor, I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, if he is nursing an ambition, why should that ambition in any way hamper the collective unity of the party?
My dear, the truth will come out eventually. It is not for me to start putting things in anybody's mouth or anybody's head. The truth will eventually come out, and then the whole world will see. Only a fool will ask what path to plant along this good path. When the plants are growing, you know what it is.
All right, let's move away from that and talk about the governor. The governor has said many times over and over again that he's not going anywhere, he's not leaving the party. And so has the national chairman of the party said, no one, he gave a statement saying that you as party men should make sure that the governor does not leave the PDP. What do you think he meant by that?
Listen, I told you why that the governor, a very responsible man, has said so clearly that he nothing to make him leave PDP. And the governor is a responsible man, and we have no issue with him. When the governor came into the party, he had meetings with us and was very appreciative until people started picking him. And I'm sure by the time the national chairman would call for that peace meeting, and when the truth are ready to eventually come out, the governor himself will still remain with the party, and he will create a enabling environment for good governance of every state.
Do you see any other members, aside from, I mean, since you have said, and there's a surety that the governor is not leaving, do you see other people leaving the party, being that most of them are still saying that they've not necessarily been comfortable within the party?
That is not for me to say anything about. If anybody wants to leave the party, it's a free franchise. Like the business of free choice, nobody was considered into it. And nobody was pretending to be a member.
But is it
if they are tired of PDP, they want to leave, they are free.
Is it not the job of the party to make sure that all members are happy, especially when you know that you're in campaign season? You're supposed to be galvanizing, building your forces against the opposition. Should that be a statement from someone who's in the executive of a party that wants to build a stronger and formidable party that will stand against the opposition? Should that be your position?
What is it?
I'll ask again.
Come again, please.
Well, you said that, whoever wants to leave the party can leave, or, that it's a game of, choice. But I'm saying, should that be the position of a member of the executive, being that the PDP is trying as much as possible to make sure that they're a formidable team come 2023? Should that be a position as a member of the executive?
On a serious note, the more the merrier. Not that we don't want anybody to leave us. But if people are not prepared to work with us and be part of the trade, because they are protecting and victim, we won't force them to be with us. But one thing is basic. Edo State is a PDP state. When people put out that rumor that PDP has ever won an election for 12 years, Edo State, that is a lie. All presidential elections, national assembly elections, in the last 15 years in Edo State, PDP has won everything. Up to the last one. Up to the last one, PDP won. Even when we have APC governor and APC national chairman from Edo, we still have 2 senators and 4 House of Reps. And the presidential candidate at Tiku Abubakar won Edo State.
Okay.
The rest of are there for you to find out.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to say thank you. Mr. Harrison Omagbon is the Deputy Chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State. We'll keep following the story and hopefully the issues within the party are resolved. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
You are welcome. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you all for staying with us. We'll take a short break now. And when we return, the Redeemed Christian Church of God takes steps to provide support for members who want to run for office. Is this the choice that they should be making? Well, we'll get to talk about that after this break.
I advocated sometimes that Nigeria should have to go to training to understand the real meaning of federalism. You know, we are not practicing federalism. This is a unitary system of government. So, for example, we mentioned the Ebubag why that they are not been able to roll out the Ebubag. The point that some governors are not yet convinced that because of the structure, governance structure, some of these things make it difficult. But the moment it becomes this philosophical framework of the government, that this is how it's supposed to be, both the federal and everybody will join in making sure that we have such multi-level security architecture. What they are saying. So the point that you are having, it's telling here, there and there, because the federal government has not yet convinced on the way to go. On the other hand, they have poor understanding of what you mean by federalism. The only federalism, only in Nigeria you find this kind of lopsided federalism or what they call unitary federalism. It's not how to practice federalism. There's no part of the world that you find federalism like this. So it's a matter of willpower to take the right decision for the right to achieve the right result.
So it is better late than never that the governor has come to see that look, if we keep quiet and we keep waiting for this federal government, we will die. Our people will keep dying. And the problem now is that not even the economic sabotage that is involved. The health hazard we are suffering. Young babies born are suffering it. Pregnant women are suffering it. Strangers who visit us are suffering it. We will live here are suffering it. You wash your white clothes. I like putting on white clothes. You wash your white clothes, you spray them, you wake up, it turns to black. You go and take your bath in the morning to go to work in your clean bedroom. The next thing you find out everywhere is dark. In fact, it is something we cannot take. So we now have to take our destiny in our hand.
Only one party in this entire country, out of all the parties that exist, PDP has rotation as a requirement. PDP, not any other party. When we say competence should be prioritized, it includes everybody who has come out to save their community, including people from the south. It's quite possible that the most competent Nigerian out of all the lot who is asking to be trusted with power will come from the south. The north can vote for a southerner. We are not saying absolutely only a northerner is competent enough to be president. We are saying prioritize competence. No one has the right to circumscribe the right of northerners aspire to be president of this country after president time, to be candidates of their parties if their parties make them candidates, or to be voted for by other Nigerians. Because if you do this, we are circumcised. You constrain all of us simply to the role of leaders. And you say you vote only for the candidates. All of you can vote. Oh, thank you very much, but no, it is not good enough. We will not accept it.
Democracy doesn't exist in consensus, because consensus could just be a trick through which some strong people may want to impose a candidate on a caucus. And then when you complain, they say we built a consensus. So that may not be democratic. That's where the problem is. And that, I think, at the end of the day, the president may simply still sign it, even if he doesn't get his way. But as I said earlier, these are the opening schematics as we progress towards this electoral act.
The truth is this: somehow, somewhere, because of the way the northern part of the country was hospitable, a lot of people or some generation of illegal immigrants, took advantage either because of cultural affiliation or religious affiliation or tribal affiliation and infiltrated Nigeria. And many of them, maybe old generation, but their children are those who today are vampires, they are chameleons, they are lepers, and they are venomous. All I can tell you is this is the reason why I prefer citizenship to anything called religion or tribe or other things. And this is my example I will give. Whether you like, be as Christianic as anything, you will never be allowed into Rome or the Vatican City or into Israel if there is no proper documentation.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Booking November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Ahead of the 2023 general elections, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, has created a department to mobilize support for its members, including Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who may be interested in running for office. Now, a memo dated February 28th further directed regional, provincial, and local heads of the Pentecostal Church to replicate similar desks in their respective domains and appoint officers to man them. Although the Vice President, a senior minister in the church, is yet to openly declare his intention to run for the 2023 presidential elections, analysts are opining that the move is a ploy to mobilize sweeping support for his ambition. Yet, the Vice President is believed to be facing stiff contention from his erstwhile political leader and benefactor, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the ticket of the All Progressive Congress, APC. Well, joining us to discuss this is Ihe Ibeji, Catch Ononoju, both are political analysts, and also Shokbe Ilori, he is a preacher. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'm going to start with you, Ms. Ilori, because you are a preacher, and this has to do with a church. It's the first time a church, a very well-known church in Nigeria, is stepping up to the plate to even think of having a political department. Now, a lot of people are welcoming the idea because, you know, many people have somewhat blurred that line between religion and politics, saying that both can coexist. But there are those who think that politics should stay out of church. So I put it to you. When you heard this news, were you among the people who applauded it and said, well, it's high time that this happened, or are you in opposition to the idea?
Well, thank you very much for having me. When I heard this news, I actually saw a copy of that memo that was sent from the Redeemed Christian Church of God. I saw that this evening, and I believe it's a very, very welcome development. I believe that it is about time, because the church does not exist in a vacuum. We do exist inside the nation. And the nation, what goes on in the nation, and the things that have to do with leadership also affect the church. So if it is about time that we took our destinies in our hands and began to participate. It's all well and good if we begin to criticize and talk about leadership or pray for them. But the Bible does implore us to watch and to pray. So what means to participate? And then to pray means, of course, which is what we do. So we're participating. So it is around about time that the church rose up and began to do something about leadership in Nigeria, because we have more than enough resources in the church to fill places of leadership and do, I believe, a much better job than is being done now. The Bible says in Revelations 1, chapter 6, verse 6, that God has made us kings and priests on the earth. Now, the area of priesthood is where you talk about religion. But when you talk about a king, it talks about authority, political authority. So if God has equipped us to be kings and priests, we cannot just focus on one part and leave the other. It will be irresponsible. The fact that the Redeemed Christian God has done this is a very welcome development.
Why did the Redeemed Church of God not do this the whole time? We've had governments come and go. Why was this not an idea that was raised? Why now that there are speculations that maybe the vice president might be interested in running for office?
And I want to ask you, why? I want to ask you why not? Because it is when you decide that you want to do something, it's the best time to do it. All right? So maybe we've sat back and we watched all of these years. And when I say we, I mean the church. We sat back and we watched all of these years. But this is the time. I mean, the time. There's no time like now. This is the first time we're having a vice president. No, I do not believe that what the Redeemed Christian Church of God did is because of the vice president. The vice president has not even indicated interest in running. He has not. So I know that what they are doing or what has been done is not for the vice president. It cuts across all political offices, and the believers are now going to be encouraged to go and join political parties and then become functional members of those parties. And then people from church will back them up, right? So asking me why now? Because now is the best time. Now is the best time. The best time to do something that you should have done, long ago is now. So now is the best time. That's the reason. That's my.
I'm going to go to you, Mr. Onunuju. Just like he said, well, he's saying that the timing is proper. This is the best next time to, get the church involved. But I'm curious, isn't there a danger in letting those lines cross, especially when a church is a place where you have people from different walks of life with different political standings and different interests? Will it not look like these people are being pointed in a particular direction?
Well, thank you. The first I would like to tell you is that the church is simply reacting to what the mosque has done well before now. I'm sure you remember the man, Issa Pantani. Pantani is a frontline member of the Islamic Salafist movement. And here in northern Nigeria...
Oh my goodness, I think we're having connection issues there with you. Mr. Onunuju, can you hear me?
Movement. Actually, I can hear you well.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Good. The church is simply playing catch up. Okay? And this particular thing you're talking about, it's something that the members of the Salafist movement have been deeply in it. Mr. Issa Pantani, today a minister for digital economy and communication in Nigeria, is promoted by the Salafist movement. The Salafist movement are Sunnis. So here in northern Nigeria, the Sunnis are massively in it. Buhari has had his sustained support by the Sunnis. So I see nothing wrong with the Christians also waking up, because if you actually look at Nigeria by population is a Christian country. But because the Christians are not this,
I think we have another disruption there, but let me come to you here while we try to correct that. Yeah. We're beginning to talk about this across the lines that we're trying to blur, religious lines. Yeah. We know that Nigeria obviously is divided along religious and ethnic lines. And if we begin to look at our political office holders or push for political holders from those same lines that we're complaining that we need to blur, I'm not in any way shooting this down. It's a welcome development. But how do we make sure that it does not become another monster in the room?
Okay, so thank you very much for having me. First and foremost, politics and the church has been around for quite a while. I mean, the time of the Black movement, you have the Martin Luther Kings, the Reverend Jesse Jacksons. They galvanized support, political support, when it had to do with extremist issues. The time of the Roman Catholic period, the popes wielding such powers that have to do with authority, both in the Christian way and the political manner. In terms of blurring lines, these are lines that you have to you have to move with wisdom, because at this point in time, there's a thin line between religion and the truth, righteousness. So if we say we breed righteousness in the church and people are coming to worship God in the church, there should be leadership that is enough to take care of the needs and suffering of the people. So would you want to allow the lines not be blurred and sit back while suffering continues? Or would you want to take the mantle and drive the leadership that people would believe in and say, okay, this is what it's supposed to be?
As much as, I'm not trying to play the devil's advocate here, I'm just asking the questions that need to be asked.
Yeah.
These same people that we were saying that are not necessarily leading us right, are not doing the necessary things that need to bring the people out of the doldrums, are in our churches.
Yeah.
They sit in the front rows, the commissioners, the ministers, the politicians, they are part of the church. So when we say that we're trying to push somebody from the body to be in those positions, these same people, so I'm trying to understand, how do we differentiate between the guy who is fit for leadership, who will deliver, compared to just saying, well, he's our church member, let's galvanize support for them?
Sometimes I ask myself whether it is a question of the devil that you know is better than the angel that you don't. In a huge propensity, that is what it seems like a lot of times, because I mean he's in your fold. So he's somebody that you see every time. He's somebody who comes in piety with his family. So all of a sudden you begin to accept that this is somebody who you can hold onto. But a lot of times we forget the fact that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when he emerges as a powerful man in a position of power, all of a sudden he surrounds himself with the paraphernalia of power. You cannot reach him. So there's that fear. And guess what? It happens. It is real. So you're correct. There is a need to be careful with this push. I mean, it's not like something that was not well thought out, if you ask me. I mean, this is a massive following, over 5 million. Wow. I mean, anybody who you want to push forward would have quite a lot of following. But it has existed over time, and even in the current dispensation, even the current political manner structure, it has always played out in that manner. So I think that what it will be eventually will be to exercise a lot of caution, to really come down to being that devil that we know is, I'm sorry, but that's just the blunt truth. It's preferable to the angel who don't.
Back to you, Mr. Laurie. Again, I'm going to pressure you because you're a preacher here. Pastor Paul Adefarasin, Pastor Tunde Bakare, I think we also have in that regard the Living Faith Pastor David Oyedepo. These are men of God who've been very vocal in terms of leadership, what our leaders are supposed to be doing. And of course, they are also very good at criticizing these leaders. So now that we have a lot of leaders, preachers who seem to be standing up for, not just Christianity, but speaking truths to power, are we going to be seeing more churches saying, well, we want to have a political desk, we want to be able to also galvanize? Should every church, that's my question, the body of Christ, as we call it, be looking in this direction to push for more people within the faith who tend to look at this idea of politics as a dirty game? Should every church begin to toe the line of the RCCG? And again, Mr. Onunuju made a statement about the Sunnis who are pushing for their people to also be in power. And I guess they also hold them to some level of responsibility. How does the church do that so that these people do not go rogue?
Okay, if you think about the greatest issues or the problems we have with political office holders today, one of your guest over there was talking about the fact that absolute power corrupts. We need to have people who are grounded, who you can hold accountable and reel back in if they begin to drift. But in a situation where, you mentioned and you said that, how do we differentiate or delineate between the people who are already in church and in positions of power and the people who we want to push forward? Now, the people who are in positions of power are not really in church. What they do is they use the church when they need to use the church. And they come to church and, like you said, they probably sit in the front row and all of that. But if we have a situation where the church has a political arm that, holds accountable and vets those people who want to go forward. Now, if you are in my church, the fact that you are in my church should not be enough for me to support you. I need to check you out. I need to know your antecedents, to know what is driving you, what's your motivating force. If a leader cannot tell us why he wants to aspire to leadership, then there is no point supporting or backing that leader up. Now, if the church rises up and begins to push people forward, that is the people that are ready to serve and have been vetted by the church, then we are the ones who can hold the people we push forward accountable. The era of godfatherism is basically the same thing. Somebody, you put somebody in office and then you become the godfather over that person, and then you dictate everything that he does. Now, I'm not saying that the church is going to become, we're going to hold bondage.
I was about to take you on that one, but you're lucky. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me land on that. I knew you were going to take me up on that. But what would happen is that where we have people, actually, the first thing that I would think that the church would check out is, what is your history in service in the church and in the community? And are you God-fearing? Now, think about the fact that you mentioned some men of God who have been speaking the truth to people in power. What if the person in power is not only somebody who is in power that is far away, but is a member of their congregation? They can go to the fellow and say, my dear brother, although you are the governor, although you are the president, but you are not going the way that you ought to go. In the Bible, there are times when the prophets, they used to go to the king directly and speak to them and tell them, no, you have deviated from what God said. So we need to have that part back in our political life.
All right.
Who can speak to those in power.
All right, let me come back to Mr. Onuju. I hope we have him back. Mr. Onuju, it's interesting that this is a welcome development for many. I think that we have not been able to get him back. Okay, so I'm going to come back to you.
Yes.
So now that he's telling us that, well, okay, it's safer to have these men and that we can hold them responsible. I want to point to the vice president. He's been a pastor for years. Before he became the vice president, he's been an attorney general, served excellently. But can we say that this government has really pleased the church? Has this government pleased the people? Should we still be looking for pastors? I mean, I can go back as far back as Pastor Joshua Dari. We know how it ended. We've had so many of these guys who are pastors, who have these appendages, but did not necessarily deliver. So I don't know if I'm still struggling with being a church member, checking their track record. If I want something from you, I could do everything to get your attention. And once I get that thing, all you see is my back. So is it about just being in church, or is there supposed to be some form of boot camp, and for the want of a better way to describe it, to make sure that we can get good leaders? I mean, they don't fall from trees, but how do we do that?
Thank you very much for echoing my exact thoughts. Quite frankly, the excitement about this whole thing it's general to a certain level, but there needs to be some level of planning and structure around it. You hit the nail spot on the head. Now, the churchgoers, the people who go to church, they are common men like you and I, and they've gone through the ills and the sufferings that have been faced over the years across every administration. So even they themselves must be circumspect, because they have one of theirs who has been in government, or who has been in government severally. All right, a lot of them, and in terms of changing things the way they wanted to, it hasn't come out that way. A lot of them may not be so satisfied with what they're getting. Maybe this is them saying, okay, you know what, you have been there as a support. Can we have you at the top? But aside that, I'd like to see what the structure is going to be like. Like for instance, every bank loan, do we get to see a guarantor? So if he gets into power, will he come back for Holy Ghost Congress?
Or the experience.
Yeah, the experience. Will he come back to church for that?
Okay, we're out of time. So, Mr. Onuju, I'm going to let you have the last say. Unfortunately, the internet cut you off. How do we see this playing out in the future? And how do we also make sure that because it's a church thing, it doesn't also make the man who goes to the mosque feel left out?
No, the man who goes to the mosque is already in this game. All the church is trying to do is also to equalize. Don't forget, as I was trying to say before the network went off, Issa Pantami is a loyalist of the Salafist movement. And even Buhari himself is also a Salafist. So if what Sheikh Gumi started over 10 years ago has now forced a lot of the Salafist people right now on government, if you like it, this particular government of President Buhari is something, has had a strong nepotic slant, actually favoring members of the Salafist movement. And if you look at the country, as I said, in numerical sense, it's actually a Christian country in terms of domination. So there is nothing wrong if the Christians also come out the same way the Muslims have come out to actually embrace politics. At the end of the day, it's going to be good going forward. So I don't really see a problem.
Okay.
Let us see how it play out. I see nothing wrong in it.
Well, I want to say thank you to the guests tonight. I want to say thank you to Shokwe Ilori. He's a preacher. Kachon Naju is a political analyst, and Ihe Ibeji also is a political analyst. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being part of the conversation.
Thank you.
You're welcome for having me.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, thank you all for staying with us. As we round off today's show, we will bring you highlights of this week's conversations. And of course, don't forget Plus TV, Plus Politics, I beg your pardon, returns on Monday at 7 p.m. And we're here every single weeknight. I am Mary Anacon. Have a good night and enjoy your weekend.
Now, the problem is not as much with the constitution or with the framework as it is with the way we practice it. I don't think the real challenge is the constitution or the legal framework under which we operate. It is part of the problem, but I don't think it's the main challenge. Part of the challenge we face is the leadership recruitment process. How are these guys elected? Are they true representatives of the people? If you notice, you may have observed that in the political process, I don't think very often it is governors or some very members of some very powerful political elite that will literally handpick those who will run on the platform of various political parties. So these guys come with a mentality that they're not representing the people, they are representing whatever interests that forced them on the ticket of the political party. Now, of course, they provide resources, they get elected, and they know that primarily they're not representing the people.
Zoning is one of the political strategies of the lazy political class who have nothing to offer to just reduce the geographical sphere of people who could consider them to be competent. I said, I don't believe that you need to zone offices to people who just belong to political parties but don't want to have the required competence and experience, as I have. I'm using the word experience clearly, not the way they're using or the way they've abused it, to run a country. I don't believe in zoning, and I've said that severally because we have zoned the office of the president and other political offices into different hands, and they have left Nigeria a broken place.
There is also a role for the family and society and celebrity culture. But with TikTok and social media and celebrity culture, these things happen in 2-3 minutes, if that. Whereas nation building is a serious issue which needs to be discussed from different perspectives and delved into. So it's not something a celebrity on TikTok can transmit in a 4-second video. These are serious issues that need to be talked about seriously within the proper structure and context. It's multi-layered, and everyone has a role to play. Religion has a role to play. Our traditional rulers, our traditional institutions have a very important role to play. For me, as a woman of Henshaw Town, I have a role as a traditional ruler to provide an example to the young girls and women in my society. And even having that position says to those women, here is somebody who has attained this position, and I can do so within a traditional context.
I think the APC is trying to resolve their crisis the best way possible. If you look at what they're doing currently, rather than allowing Buni to scuttle the next election and the next convention, they decided to move, get him out of the place and put in somebody, Governor Bello, with a mandate to organize the convention. Otherwise, there'd be a crisis if they shift it again on March 26th. And that is not what they want. Yes, the president...
A broken road does not understand Igbo. It will not maim the Fulani and let the rest of us go. The accident it will cause will take our lives. For when a vehicle somersaults, it breaks our bones.
So, you can speak Nupe till morning comes. It will not build libraries in our public schools. And when a woman, a young woman, lies dying in childbirth, your fluency in Ijaw, it will not save her life.
For Christian or Muslim, it makes no difference. When you're being driven around in an ambulance from hospital to hospital in search of oxygen, northerner or southerner, you'll just die suffocating.
You will die from causes easily preventable, like no fuel for the police to respond to your distress call. No light, no water, no nurses, no jobs. Nothing kills as efficiently as bad governance.
As politicians in office who do not pay salaries, whose response to bad roads is bigger SUVs, who set up committees and publish white papers, presiding over affairs that never improve.
Politicians in jeeps with minds in London, perpetual latecomers to every meeting, irritated by anyone with a different opinion, who see the people as a throne to sit on.
Politicians in power, who personalize the state, who criminalize criticism and terrorize dissent. In society, nothing kills as efficiently as a politician in high office with low mentality.
For you see, Boko Haram will burn down an entire classroom, but a politician can swallow the entire school system, can fold up the power station and keep it in his briefcase, can roll up the railways and keep it in her house.
They can file our seaports away in a drawer, can cripple all our farms with no fertilizers. No matter the passion that you bring into a startup, the government can cripple it with just one pronouncement.
And no degree you hold, no grammar you speak, no decision you make to just face your work, no protest you stage can save you from those elected to make and enforce our laws.
The way they see things is a wall around you, for you cannot drive faster than the person driving you. No matter your wealth, education, or achievement, you're subject to the mentality of those in government.
Politicians in office hold the yam and the knife. For to elect is to give the elected power over life. Which child remains Almajiri or becomes better? These things are in the hands of the people in power.
Politicians in office hold the farm and the seed. For to elect is to give the elected the power to decide whether security operatives can murder citizens and walk away free. These things are in the hands of those who run the country.
So, if you're tired of it all, then strike it at its roots. if you are tired of needing a letter from a senator to get that job, if you are tired of seeing your hustle frustrated by public policies, if you are tired of insecurity, then fix the politics.
Until they are there in public office, men and women with a heart for public service. No tribe, no tongue, just a commitment to build a functional nation that fills us all with pride.
Until they are in the highest office, men and women with the heart of selfless service. No region, no religion, just commitment to nation.
Until we elect them, we labor in vain.
Because they have elected somebody, they can just call me anytime. It's not done.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on PlusTvAfrica.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamode Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamode Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Osayome Sale, and today I'm joined by my lady lawyer and our Alera wants to go to. Should I tell them?
No,
I shouldn't tell them. Why just spoil your chances? No. Okay, our superstar. Let me leave it there. Hi, Alera.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
How was your day? How is Friday?
So
Finally.
I am super excited. This is my dance for Friday. I'm happy about Friday. The week was crazy, but I mean, when we experience all the craziness, it basically makes us, remember when they say we are all like tea bags, and you only know how strong a tea bag is when you put it inside hot water. So this week was like my hot water week, and I think
the tea was brewed right.
Yes, and I'm feeling good, so I'm forgetting about the week stress and looking into the weekend so I can rest well.
But what's the product like you're launching in the bank?
Am I allowed to talk about it?
Not yet, right?
Okay, so in fact, we are going to be launching the wait list very soon, and anybody that uses my link will actually get a free 1-month subscription. So just don't worry, we have something really interesting coming up. You'll be the first to know.
Women, so we need to be also.
You'll be the first to know. I promise to give away audience the first gist.
Okay.
Once we go to market, you guys will be the first to know.
Awesome. Hi, Money.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
So what was your day like?
My day was
Money, I think it's easier for me to get appointment with the US Embassy than for me to see you or talk to you on the phone.
I know.
Busy much?
I'm always in meetings. And now, since this whole virtual world, so virtual reality started, it's even worse for meetings. So every time, if you're not even going to see someone physically, then you have to
You don't have an excuse.
There's no more excuses. So there's no traffic. Before we say, oh, there's so much traffic.
You start the meeting online.
Now, so it's back to back. So that's why
working from home actually makes you work more. You work longer hours when you're working from home.
I work from the office.
Oh, okay.
And I'm working physically, I'm working virtually.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. It's not easy. But how was the prison visit though yesterday?
It was awesome.
Were you part of the people that did the beauty pageant?
Everybody's asking me. Everybody's asking me. No, that's Kiri. So normally during the week I go to Ikoyi prison.
Okay, so your visitation every Thursday is Ikoyi prison
because of traffic.
Oh.
Yes, so I go to Kiri on some weekends.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
But during the week I'm in Ikoyi.
Because they were debating on the group, but you didn't have our time yesterday to answer us.
I was too busy.
Because they were talking about inmates that. Then Uti was saying that I was not telling them that that's what you do. Like there are so many people you're doing pro bono for because
so many.
they've been there in prison with no trials and all of that. Those are the kind of cases you're fighting for.
Yes. But not Chidima's.
Not Chidima.
Chidima she's well represented.
Did you see the ladies?
She didn't even
beautiful ladies. Oh my God.
It wasn't even like she was in prison.
So I started asking, well, I see these people every day. So even yesterday when I went to prison, there was a young man I just kept staring at because he was dressed like he was going for an interview, a job interview. So some of them actually, just separate themselves from the
crowd.
Yeah, they do. They come out well.
Okay, so today we're discussing, business, right?
Yes.
So how we can empower women-led businesses, right? And here's what we found is today's quote. I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress which women have achieved, right? That's our quote for the day. Now, with a population of over 200 million people, Nigeria's economy continues to be a concern as unemployment numbers continue to rise. Now, according to a report published March 2021 by Bloomberg Economics, Nigeria's unemployment rate has risen to 33% with a 1.5% economy recovery rate in 2021. Now, according to International Monetary Fund. Now, the question remains, how can Nigeria strategically manage the current unemployment crisis? This is an excerpt from an article that was written by our guest today, Nancy Tayaregbaye. She's actually a friend of the house, and she's here to discuss the impact of empowering women-led businesses, right? But first, let's take a break to see what we found in the news. You are still watching where is now the international plumbing community, as represented by the council, has a vital role in promoting the link between good quality plumbing, health, environmental sustainability, and increasingly economic prosperity. March 11 is marked by celebrations, competitions, seminars, and activities all around the world. People from within and outside the plumbing fraternity come together to learn, share knowledge, build connections, and find opportunities to collaborate to improve the quality of and access to fresh water and safe sanitation. There are now hundreds of annual World Plumbing Day events promoting the link between good plumbing sanitation and human and environmental health. So, happy International Plumbing Day. Yay! There are some things you cannot do without in your life. You know how when you get to a certain age, you now realize that it is the things that you list, you pay attention to the list.
They're very important.
Make you no go toilet, you'll be all right.
Actually, artisans are very important.
Very important.
Very important. From plumbers to carpenters to who else again?
All of them.
Welders.
Is it the vulcanizer?
They are all important.
I just wish we would have, like really
standardized,
educated artisans.
Well, I think in pockets, yes. So there's a technical school that the Lagos State government even runs.
Oh, okay.
Some pockets of bodies are coming together to train. So you see now, have you not seen the lady that plaster POP plastering? She went to learn it professionally. There's also a lady that does bricklaying, right? So there are a lot of people now going into the artisan profession with intention to actually change the face of that profession. So it's getting better.
Yeah,
we're seeing more educated people going into those sectors, and if we see more of those, it would actually impact
on the whole
greatly on the whole artisan community. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
well, we pray so.
Yeah, so International Plumbing Day. Please, we love you, our plumbers. But when we call you, answer us on time.
Yeah,
there are some, eh?
They'll say, Madam, I'm coming. The next 2 hours.
There's
Issa, where are you?
Accountability, nothing at
if
all.
Issa is watching this now, he will say, Madam, don't call my name. Issa, where are you?
In fact, I have how many plumbers? I have Mishak, I have Organ, I have one more. I've been calling them because I'm doing a project in the house. I don't call tire. In fact, it's tomorrow I want to battle it out with them because they're supposed to fix the toilets and all those things.
No, you
to
can't find them.
You know what? So let me start with Valero. What did you find for us in the news?
Oh, okay, so amidst the craziness going on in Nigeria, people with vehicles have been suffering and going through the whole fuel scarcity. And right now, airfare hikes imminently in Nigeria as aviation fuel prices skyrockets. People that have traveled, maybe at the end of the day, they will use the road or they will trek back to their town because now the price of fuel has actually gone up. So amid speculation that aviation fuel price in Nigeria could soon skyrocket to $1.68, which is equivalent to 7 naira per liter. Stakeholders have been warned to brace themselves for an inevitable hike in airfares. Business Insider Africa understands that aviation fuel price in Nigeria has raised from 46 cents, which is approximately 190 naira, in January this year, to as high as $1.04, which is approximately 607 naira as of Tuesday, March 8, 2022. Local airlines have already responded to this by hiking their fares by 100%. The operation controller of the Independent Petroleum Marketing Association in Nigeria, Mr. Mike Osatuyi, blamed the dramatic increase in the price of aviation on the ongoing Russian-Ukraine crisis.
So just yesterday, I received a text saying that in January 2021, we bought aviation fuel at 190 naira per liter. At the end of the year, we were paying 360 naira per liter.
Wow.
Almost double, right? At the end of February 2022, just over a week ago, it was 415 naira.
This is...
Yesterday, which was, I got this message, I think yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday, it was 445, between 445 to 460. Today, it's at 579 to per litre in Lagos, 5.99 in Abuja, and 6.09 in Kano.
This is
crazy.
So it is inevitable.
And now, I mean, they're saying now that it's
Yeah.
going to go to 700 naira very soon.
Oh, yes.
Like, what's
Oh,
going
yes.
on?
Did you see what happened with the diesel as well?
Oh,
the
goodness
cost of
me.
diesel.
This is at 700
Yes,
already.
yes.
Yeah.
My welder that I gave him something to do, part of what I was saying about the plumbing, was
Mhm.
supposed to build like a water tank for me. The price literally in 2 weeks, because I didn't commission him to start, in 2 weeks, 100% increment. It was, let's say it was 20,000.
Now it's 40.
I had to pay 40,000 for it.
Even if you had paid him, if he hadn't purchased the
Wow.
items, then he
He
would
would
still
have
come
called
back
you.
and say,
Yeah.
ah,
Yes,
madam,
I
price
can't- I
has
can't
gone
do the
up.
job.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
this is really crazy. What
Crazy.
happens to people that can't even afford it?
Crazy. All right, so let's hear your story, Manny.
Bamishe, outrage as new victim says arrested Lagos BRT driver raped her inside the bus. So many Nigerians have expressed anger after a grisly revelation that Nice Andrew Ominini Koron, the driver of the bus rapid transit vehicle, that's the BRT bus, arrested in connection with the brutal murder of a passenger, Oluwa Bamishe Ayankole, had in the past allegedly raped another lady. So Nigerians registered their displeasure on various social media platforms and called for an urgent prosecution of the driver in the interest of justice. Now, the female victim accused Omonini Koron of raping her on November 25th, 2021, sharing a similar narrative with Bamishe's saga. So she actually recounted her whole story on
How he was driving.
Same person.
Yes.
So now I want to address what the Lagos State Governor said.
Yeah.
That when you see that the lights are off, do not go in. This lady, when I read her story, he was on the move already. They were already
And the lights
riding the
were
bus.
off.
Then it
He
was
turned it on.
He
And
turned
he's
it off while they were in motion. While they were in
So it's
motion.
not as
so it's not
if
even as
she
if that
saw
she
it
saw
was-
a bus
and
that
then
was,
she got in.
was not lit up. So I think the case of Bamishe was a case of rape gone bad. Because you remember the guest we had on Wednesday, Dixon Osaji, when he was talking about that it is possible that that guy, Bamishe's case was never the first.
Yes,
Do you understand? It was
probably
not the
did-
first.
Oh,
it
yes.
was not the first time
to-
somebody actually took time to video it.
So the other cases will just be cases of missing people.
Or they just raped them. Because I don't think he intended to kill her.
Bamishe.
Yes, I don't think I think it was a case of rape gone bad. Because now, when I heard this...
remember that some body parts
No, they
were-
said, so the commissioner of police, I watched his video when he was giving his recount. He said that no such thing as a mutilation, that was all rumors. That her body is intact, is in the morgue. But for to verify whether she was raped, they were going to do an autopsy. Right? So that
we're
ruled
still
out,
waiting for...
That ruled out the ritual, whatever it was, that the speculations.
that's
Yes,
good.
it ruled out that. But she was assaulted. I am sure that it was a case of rape gone bad.
Maybe she fought him.
Yes,
And
because there were altercations. Remember, they said that the last time they heard from her, she was screaming at the driver and all of that. So that would have been possible.
my God.
What would have happened?
Yes.
So this is not the first time.
So it was a
but this
rape
time
gone
around,
bad.
he did not get away with it because somebody was videoing it. That girl said they were in motion. He switched off the light and told her to come to the front of the bus, right? Something because she was the only passenger and blah blah blah. That was how he pinned her down. He switched off the light. In motion. He parked and
he
said,
had a knife
yes, he
in his
parked
hand.
somewhere at whether the toll gate or something, and switched off the light and raped her.
What?
So he's a notorious rapist. And remember, again, the guest was saying, how do they recruit these people?
Exactly. Who are
How
the
do
people?
they recruit?
I mean,
This is the same
before you
question
get
I
a
asked.
job, before
Yeah.
you get a
You
job
understand?
in Nigeria, everybody knows
And
now
that
that
is
you
why we
have to
cannot
get
rule out.
references.
Yes, we cannot rule out the culpability of the Lagos State government.
No, we
because they are the
can't.
ones
We can't
hiring
rule out.
these people.
Yeah, we can't rule out. If a staff commits a crime in my office,
It is you.
They're coming for me.
Yes.
So you can't rule that out.
Absolutely.
No, it's not
So
possible.
let me take my story quickly. This one is very scary. Nigeria should expect food scarcity by
I
June.
saw that.
This one, I don't know how to even react to it. Make we just begin the pack our load. They go.
To
their
where
room.
now?
I don't even know right
Where do you
now.
want? Where are we packing
So
the load
this is
to?
according to the what's it called, the Nigerian billionaire Dangote. He said Nigeria should expect an outbreak of food scarcity in the next 3 months as adverse consequences of the Russia-Ukraine war begin to come home to roost. Now, he said that the war impact, which has begun with the sporadic rise in wheat pricing, may soon spread to other food including maize and other components of input for industrial food production, triggering low production and low supply. And that's what, according to Dangote. Now, you see, remember when this Russia war broke, Russia-Ukraine, when I was chatting in the group, what's her name? Madam was telling me that how does it concern us? How does it concern us?
It does concern us. Big time.
There is no way anything, because right now the world is a global village. Even though we actually are not supposed to be suffering, even if we want to suffer for anything, not food, because we have the land, we have everything.
Yes.
So this time, if the government would only look at this as the perfect opportunity to finally get our agriculture right. We don't need to be growing wheat. No, we don't need to be importing wheat.
But government has to step in right now to try to deal with these issues of insecurity. So it's about the agricultural part. It's about insecurity.
Like everything, yes, everything is just being affected.
I think our government should just sit up.
I'm telling you. So on that note, to take a break now, we want to discuss women-led businesses. I want to tell you how we can impact and change this narrative of unemployment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshuke.
Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Events is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely, right? No question. He's a living legend.
Oh, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, I know.
I just want to be blown away. I want to be wild. This is 11 years of doing it.
I'm surrounded by so much positivity.
No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching
Plus Event
on Plus TV.
Stay glued to Plus TV Africa every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on Plus TV Africa as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect am. If you no talk, dem go beat you. Na 2,500 they pay.
Thanks for staying with us. Men and women entrepreneurs face inherently different constraints, including psychological and cultural factors. Female entrepreneurs are often lacking in access to financial and human capital, which impedes business growth. Women have women have different mindset constraints, such as risk aversion, and have not caught up in the soft skills, such as leadership, to boost their businesses. Now, in addition, women have culturally imposed constraints that psychologically and physically impede their independence, aspiration, and priorities. Thus, the success of female entrepreneurs depends on their personal traits and entrepreneurial skills, and how supportive institutions and stakeholders address or work around these major constraints. Now, do you think we've made any considerable impact on empowering women-led businesses, right? Especially in Africa or say in the developing countries, and what can we do better? Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So I'm going to bring in Nancy in a minute, but I want to start with you, Alero, because you just started something that is around women, small businesses, and all of that in your organization. How do you think it is faring in terms of, you know, the impact that women-led businesses, you know, can have, rather? Let me just forget about the negatives. What do you think they can have, the impact they can have on their communities?
So, I mean, right now, what we are basically trying to do is we're trying to empower women by giving them, you know, the resources that they need. So it's either we're giving them finances as capital to start their business, or we give them an opportunity to upskill, to do trainings, to probably some vocational trainings and all. Because the truth is, a lot of women are smarter than people think, and all they need is an opportunity to go beyond what they are doing right now, because a lot of them feel limited. So aside from, you know, their own individual background and their limitations, it's easier when there's like a community of other women backing them up to say, okay, you know what, we understand what's going on and we're here to support you. So if it's finances you need, we're here to give you maybe low interest rate financing, give you opportunities to get maybe investors if that's what you want. So I mean, there are a lot of opportunities coming up, and I'll be really excited to talk about that by the time we're ready to go to market as well.
Absolutely.
So yes, women are going to, in fact, I feel more enthusiastic about the growth of women in 2022 than I've been in other years. And the reason is because, you know, after COVID, it's just been a lot of families lost their jobs, and then most of the wives or the mothers in the homes were the ones, you know, supporting. And some people were like, oh my God, I didn't even know that we could actually, you know, have this type of impact in society. And it's really great that we're looking into it. So yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Manny? You are a woman that is leading a business and doing exceptionally well at that. So how has it been for you? How do you think you have impacted, first of all, your own immediate community?
Okay, so I think that the fact that I started what I'm doing right now, and I'm still on it 12 years into it, gives more girls around me the confidence, you know, to participate in things like this. You know, in the past, it was like women are not supposed to be here, women are not supposed to be doing these things. Now they see women coming out every day and doing it, so they now participate, and then they understand it, because it's not just in coming out and doing a business, it's in asking yourself why. What are the whys? You know, I believe that because of the population of the women in our country especially, we can actually, women empowerment can help to fight poverty. We're more than the men. We have the numbers. So if you empower the woman, then you know what it means. Then there's this saying that goes that if you educate a girl, you educate a nation. So imagine if we turn this upside down. If you empower a woman, you empower a community. Empower a community. It's as simple as that. So I think with everything that I'm doing, is giving other girls, other women around me the confidence to participate, you know, in building, nation building.
Our lawyer. Our guest, Nancy Taya has always been an advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves. Since her youth, history has always been an interest of hers. Fascinated by how communities and cities grow, she hyper-focused on developing solutions to transform impoverished communities to thriving environments. Now, she consults nationally and internationally with SMEs, corporate bodies, NGOs, and governmental agencies. She provides fresh ideas and strategic guidance to ensure they obtain their desired outcome. Her unique perspective and strategies ultimately helps organizations refocus, recenter, and resume with increased efficiency. And might I add that she's a friend of the house. And we are always happy to have her whenever she's in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Nancy, for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I just saw you when, what's her name, Manny and Alero, they were talking, you were just...
And how it fights poverty. It really does. Like when you empower a woman, it's really interesting because the organization of Economic Development published that the multiplier effect of a woman is 1 to 30. So for every one woman that's empowered, 30 people are going to benefit from that. And so when you think about empowering a woman, it's just a beautiful thing to see. So you mentioned the education, the training, the vocational piece. You mentioned women seeing nation building and seeing that they actually can do it too. And that's the issue. We don't have enough women in positions where they're able to influence and empower others to do the same. And so as you guys were speaking, I was just really excited.
They've done your job for you tonight. But there's something you shared. You said across the globe, data points at the fact that women have made an enormous effort to present on the map of success in entrepreneurship in the last century. Women have made significant impact, and there's still potential for more. Right? This data, is it really real? Is it scalable? Are we truly, or is just the, we are trying to be politically correct when we say that if you empower? Because sometimes when we talk about, we just had the International Women's Day. Everybody was talking about women empowerment, breaking the bias, and all of that. It seemed like we're just making too much noise. Do we really make that much impact when you say you are impacting a woman? Are we truly influencing and changing things?
Absolutely. As you were speaking and I was in the back room, I was like, this women empowerment thing is not a game. It's a real thing. There's real data that points to when women are empowered, what it does to an economy. In a recent report, a global women's report in the United States, women in small businesses are employing up to 7.7 million individuals. And it's more than our corporate organizations like McDonald's, IBM, and Walmart. And for me, I'm like, wow, that is so inspiring, but also shows directly what a woman's capable of doing. And when I think of African nations, I'm like, it's not really innovation, right? If you just follow statistics, if you follow data, then you understand what women are actually capable of doing, and you simply follow the pattern. And so when I think about Nigeria, particularly there was one organization that I worked with just 1 year. It's called Stories from Home. And she was an aspiring entrepreneur, and I asked her, well, what's your vision? What do you ultimately want to do? And she talked about how she wants to start her own business, and she wants to help with the graphic design and so forth. So I worked with her, and under a year, she employed 3 people. So I said, wow, well, according to the data here, there's 23 million entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs. So that 23 million women has the ability to employ 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 people within their country. And so when I think about it, it's not rocket science. It's just the data is right there. Follow it, invest, and you see what happens.
Sure.
Ladies, if you leave me, I have plenty questions.
So there's one thing that has really been a major concern for me, and it's more of the mental conditioning that females, or rather the female child, has been experiencing right from when she was young. So imagine a female, let me use myself as an example, and growing up, I had like the people in my environment were not really, pushing me towards doing something, or go stay in the kitchen and be the one to cook while the boys watch TV or go play soccer, or you're the ones that have to serve the boys, or you're the one that have to go to the market. I grew up in a home whereby my dad made sure, male and female, you have to do everything, because there's no one role for a female child and there's no role for a male child.
Great father.
So, I just imagine in a family that, the female didn't have that opportunity to have a father that's saying, okay, let's do this. So we have a lot of women that belong to that category, and I know a lot of them are trying to unlearn what they know, and it's our duty of, we have the opportunity to, see it differently, because they don't even know any better, because in their head they feel like, oh, I'm done with school, have to get married, I have kids, and that's it. The man is the one that goes out of the house and brings the food and money and all of that. So women knowing that now is really helping to change the game.
So let me ask Nancy, how do you think we can address this mindset? Because it also impacts in the way the woman sees the growth projection of her business. Now I see that a lot of challenges with small businesses is that they just want to be, I just want to do business.
Let me just make money.
Let me just make money and all of that. They are not thinking conglomerate. We had to say they speak the grammar. They're not thinking big. They're not thinking, oh, I can actually do this on a global scale. So this, what Alero just described, it has piggy into the future. to go and affect the impact of, even when a woman is leading a business, she's just okay just having 10 staff. Meanwhile, that woman would have had the capacity to employ 1,000 people. So how do we change that mindset?
When you're speaking, I'm like, was she at my training last week? I think she was. Because the training that we did was centered around the mindset of a woman. And oftentimes people ask me about, okay, what should I do when I start my business? I said, well, first you have to get your mindset right. If you're in business to make money, you don't understand what business really is. Business owners are the ultimate problem solvers. So your business should be a solution to an issue within the community. And the issue within your community in 2022, it's likely an issue globally. And so we have to think beyond our current circumstance. And that's what I encourage women to do when we work with them. And I really think there needs to be training programs centered around that. People don't know what is possible. That's what's happening here in Nigeria. Now, I've worked with quite a few women here in Nigeria, and I'm realizing they're not dreaming big enough. They don't even really understand what is possible. And I tell them, you're a click away from a breakthrough. You're literally one click away. Now in this 2022, 21st century, we're all connected in an instant. And so think beyond your current circumstance, think beyond your city, and definitely think beyond just making money. Because when you're solving an issue, people are gonna chase you. You won't have to go beg people to buy your product or your service.
Okay, Money, quickly.
Okay, so I bought something off someone on Instagram, and when I got the product, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't what I saw. So I gave her my feedback. I said, you can do better. You know, it was kind of tacky. So she called me and she was like, are you the one that just sent me a message? I was like, yes, and she went off on me. Yes, she did. So, women and emotions. So what are the characteristics and attributes that you think that these women must possess to be able to actually lead? You understand? So the basic things, foundational things.
Yeah, this is when I go back to leadership. So there's business skills and there's leadership skills. And if you want to be successful, you got to know how to have both. And when you understand that business is about service, it's not about you, it's not about your ego, it's about the other person.
Exactly.
Then you'll be able to really level up your emotional intelligence and also level of empathy, right? These are things that have to be taught. They're not taught. So I would say, one, this woman, I'm like, clearly she needs some leadership development, but I'm not surprised because what was she supposed to learn? It's not taught in schools. She likely didn't go to business school. She likely didn't have any type of training, right? People are starting businesses out of passion or desperation.
Yes.
Where is the skill development, right? Where's the emotional intelligence and leadership development that's supposed to go along with business? And so where's the mentoring? It's not there. So this thing does not surprise me. Customer service is one of the most important things in business, and people aren't taught it.
Okay, you know what? Let's go on a very short break. When we come back from the break, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, if you just tuned in, we are having an amazing and interesting chat with Nancy Tayaregbare on the impact of empowering women-led businesses. Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. I want to go back to this topic, the impact. What does what does empowerment mean to a woman? When you say empowerment, because when Manny was talking about somebody calling, I actually thought you were going to say that, thank you so much for the feedback. We truly apologize.
She went off.
Does she understand?
Is she forgetting
and
that
I was like, calm down. You are definitely a small girl. Let me teach you how it's done. She was like, your father. And I was like,
are you
what?
kidding me? So
Seriously.
What does empowerment really mean? You understand? When you say you want to empower a woman, what is that word? What does it mean? Because a lot of times people think it is people like Alero, they need to go and look for, just give me money, you have empowered me. But what does real empowerment mean?
Yeah, I think it's a fabulous question. I was thinking about that, and I think right now we're seeing that empowerment is a financial thing, and it's not. It's not giving a woman money and saying, I support your business. It's getting her to understand her power. It's getting her to understand that she is capable of transformation. She's capable of saving her community, her family. She's capable of doing more than what she's doing in that moment. And it's a mindset thing, right? It comes from within. That's before the money. That's before the training, right? And I think that's what needs to happen. It has to be a comprehensive approach to the development of a woman, not just a financial thing.
Yeah.
I like that part where you said understand
You
their
have
power.
to.
Because
You
if you
have to.
understand your power, even if you do not have the money, you'll be able to grow.
Yes.
For people like the girl that called money and went off on her, she might have been given money to start that business. But because she does not understand what it means to run a business, she does not have the leadership skills, she doesn't have the emotional intelligence, all that money will go down the drain.
She will not be able to multiply it. She won't be able because she will lose clients.
I mean, there's something one of my bosses said last year during the International Women's Day. And I mean, it's something that during her interview and when she said it, I mean, I had goosebumps. She said, take up the space. As a woman, I mean, there's so many times that in my career, I would want to do something, I'm not so confident about it. And at some point, I'll ask myself, why am I worried? Why am I scared? You're not even certain of the kind of superpower that you have as a woman. First of all, we have the power to multiply everything that we're being given. So when you know according to what people say, your onions, when you know your worth, you get into the room, you take up the space, let people notice you that, yes, I'm here to make an impact, I'm here to make a change. Even if you feel like you're not even as experienced enough to achieve it. Like she mentioned leadership, you have someone to guide you. Even if you don't even have them around you, look for somebody who can mentor you, who can, push you towards the right direction. I know that a lot of people have different type of leadership skills and how it can affect you as an individual. So, I mean, there are a couple of female mentors out there. I'm sure there are a couple of women that you'd have seen that will resonate with your style or with you. I mean, just take up the space, reach out.
So let's move to the conversation around empowerment, Nancy.
Okay.
Because how prepared do you think women are when it comes to this mentorship and leadership skills to really pay attention? Because a lot of people are doing it. You are doing a fantastic job trying to get free mentorship for women, right? But it seems like nobody's interested in mentorship. Just give me money. I mean, is it that we have become so lazy, or what exactly is the real issue? Why are people not taking this leadership development and mentorship serious, for the growth of their business?
Well, I think there's several reasons that contribute to that. And I think we just live in a world where everything comes so fast and so easy. And they don't understand that leadership is critical, right? No one's talking about it. I don't think it's in social media enough. I don't think it's on the news enough. I don't think it's in the newspapers enough. And I don't think, quite frankly, our leaders around the world are talking about this enough. And so if it's not constantly put in your face, then you don't value it, right? And so I think that's what's happening. Again, when you're talking about development and leadership, you don't see the benefits until later on. And we live in a world where I call it the microwave world. You just put it in and then it's out in 30 seconds. And people think that's what business is supposed to be as well. Not understanding that it's time. It takes time to develop a business that's scalable. And when you are trying to have a business success overnight, everybody wants the success, but are you willing to work for the success? And if you're not, I have to question why you're really in business. Because if you're in business to solve an issue, I'm going to fight for that issue because it's now bigger than myself. And I think we just have to reshape and redefine what business is and what leadership is and the value of it.
Money smiling. You want to go?
Yeah, let me say something. I like what you just said. This is a microwave generation.
Absolutely.
Instant gratification. They put something in, they want something out like in 2 days. I see most of my young lawyers now, they just want to get to the top today.
Not to have their own law firm.
Thank you. I have people come into my law firm and after 1 year, they want to open their law firms. Meanwhile, I'm coming from somewhere. So when I started out, I heard a lot of people say, oh, lawyers are poor, you're making a bad move leaving the bank, because I came from the banking industry. So you're leaving the bank to start up a law firm, doesn't make sense, But I started and I knew what I was getting into. So like you just said, it was not easy. In the beginning, it feels like the numbers are not adding up because because really the numbers are not supposed to be adding up. It's a process, you know. So, but nowadays, I don't think we have those people anymore who are ready to, you know, just slug it out till it works. Just stay on it till it works. She said something a while ago about confidence. You know, when I came out of law school, fresh out of law school, a newbie, I was attending all the conferences, seminars, anything that was available. So I found myself in Kenya at one time, and I realized that I had attended a judges conference. I was amongst all the judges in Nigeria. So there was judges from Sokoto, judges, and they were like, what are you doing here? And I was acting like I am supposed to be here. Like she said, make space for me. Take space. So I was taking space.
Take it.
You know, so nowadays we need a lot of confidence in taking this space, because the men are not even going to hand it over to you. You need to take it. You know,
so how do we do that?
Actually, she's here. She's going to tell us how to do that.
I was going to add to what you said. So I do not want to create excuses for, I don't want to say my generation, right? Because I mean, as an individual, I'm a very restless person in the sense that I want to do something that would create an impact and create a change. And sometimes the level at which I want to achieve that thing, let's assume that you're my boss. If you don't understand me, you might think, oh, I just want to get there quickly. But as I'm heading towards this direction, which means that when I get to this place, I check myself, I look back and I'm like, okay, is this the thing you want to achieve? And set your next goal. Because the truth is, at some point, your boss will be the one to say, I think it's time for you to pick something.
Let me based on what they've said, let me ask you, Nancy, what would be a realistic goal setting in terms of business growth or business or career success for a businesswoman? If she says, okay, I'm starting off maybe today, I'm hiring one person, what should be the trajectory? How should she envision that growth?
Or how should she measure it, right? Yes.
Well, I always tell business owners, what's your 5-year plan? So with businesses, the national statistics, 50% of businesses are failing within 5 years, right? So 5 years is like the 0 to 5 years is that startup phase. Once you pass that, kudos to you, right? So I say, why don't you give yourself 5 years? Can it happen sooner? Absolutely. Do we want it to happen sooner?
Yes.
Absolutely. But give yourself time. Give yourself a 5-year plan. And most importantly, plan for what you want it to look like in 5 years. I tell people, I've worked with so many people, I want to have a $1 billion company in 5 years. Awesome. Let's break that down. How much do you need to make in year 1? What does year 2 look like? What does year 3 look like? What does year 4 look like? How many customers do you need to have in years 1 through 5? Are you prepared to serve that many people, right? So people aren't thinking about their business on a long term, and 5 years is not even long term, right? But just in 5 years, plan for that. Give yourself that amount of time.
See the story that I took today. It's not, there's a uniqueness of Nigeria. Do you understand? You know, it's easy for me to plan in a stable economy, to say, okay, I can give myself 5 years, we'll be rough for it, and we get there. But in an economy where there's so much uncertainty, there's so much instability and all of that, how do you still have that patience to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to give myself 5 years to this. If it's not working, you know, I'll probably say, okay, I failed and I take up something else. How do you do that?
I think that's a beautiful question. And this is why why are you in business? What is the purpose? What is the vision? Right? So business for me, it's so much deeper than just trying to make money or sell this product or serve this person. I am solving an issue. I believe that if my product and my service and my voice is not used, there's a big problem on earth that will not be solved. And so for me, I'll go 15 years to know the next 20 are going to be great, right? And that's what we have to ask ourselves. How long are we willing to go through the journey? Because it's not easy.
So that means it starts from the foundation of making sure that business is here to meet a need.
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Absolutely.
We're getting somewhere. We have a comment.
Yes, so we have a comment. Hi, ladies. We all need to understand that our space here in Nigeria is different because of our culture and our values. Even with all the business skills and your understanding, how important customers are is still very difficult to deal with Nigerians when it comes to business. I really understand what she's saying. I mean, I feel like Nigerians are unique people. even when you go to the market, like the open market, and you're trying to purchase stuff, you know how, you know, some retailers will actually act, or some
They'll
traders.
insult you for just coming to price and not
you,
buying or touching their...
Even with the story that she said that the vendor was...
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it goes both ways, even the consumers and the business owners.
But I think this is not unique to Nigeria.
It's
Nancy, help me
everywhere.
out. In terms of customer service,
It's everywhere.
Where you actually... I mean, I watched a video online where it was not in Nigeria, where they were insulting the whatever for attending to somebody else. I mean, we see this happen, right? So how do we uniquely tailor it to Nigeria? Because it seems like everybody just feels like Nigeria, we have very poor customer service and all of that. How can we tailor the right solutions, you know? Because I don't think it's unique to us, though.
It's not unique to Nigeria, but I will say, and
we're peculiar.
Yes.
Why peculiar?
Our culture is there that affects.
I think just culturally, we have very dominant personalities. That's what I'll use. But you can still have a dominant personality and still serve somebody. Yeah. Like that is what business is. And I had an experience here in Nigeria. It's like, why the customer service here is just lacking across the board. But then there was one person I went to somewhere specific, and they were so kind to me. Didn't ask for money, just wanted to help me, and I was so impressed. I was like, wow, thank you so much, and tipped him. He didn't even want anything, but because I just was yearning for it. Why is there no service? And I think that, again, what are you in business for? Business is service. It is serving an individual, which means we have to reduce our ego.
In their pockets.
Exactly. That's how you get it. I told one of my seamstress, I said, it's not that you're not the best seamstress in Lagos. Let's be very clear. It's not that you're bad, but you're not the best. I'm not coming to you because you make the finest clothes in the city. I like you and I like your service. And in that, and I was talking to her because she had bad service in that moment where I said, now you've broken the trust. I don't even want to come back to you anymore. You don't understand what relationship building does. Being kind to someone, being generous, and just being there for someone, it'll bring you back.
Absolutely.
Bring them back. And I think that's the mentality we have to have as a nation.
Manny, you have a comment. So someone is just greeting us.
Greetings, ladies. Sincerely, the capability of a woman is extremely awesome. Almost from 3 years, a girl already expresses so much attention and detail on her looks, etc. That attention to do the hair, the nails, the skin, personal hygiene, and so on. This ability, if given to leadership and bigger personal vision can add, will transform up to unsuppressible power. This gap is biggest weakness that limits the full potential of a woman. Question is why? From Benson.
Did you understand that question?
I didn't
understand. Let me take it again, because what he said was, let me see, he says, you know, from almost at the age of 3, a girl already understands, you understand. But the gap is that ability to translate the thing you already have on your inside, which is the guidance. That's where that mentorship comes in. Yeah. Where you are able to say, you already have this inside of you, right? How about we move you away from hair, skin, and nails coordination to coordinating a structure, a business, and all of that. You understand? Is that missing link that, you know, Benson is talking about? You know, so you channel that energy for a bigger purpose, a bigger vision. That's what he's saying, and that's where it comes back to what I'd linked to Alero's comments about how we think small as women. We're just so satisfied. So how do we start to get to that place where we are hungry? You know, so, which I think you've already answered when you said, why are you in business, right? So I mean, if you were to sum it up, because, you know, when we are having fun, right? If you were to sum it up in terms of what the opportunities are in 2022 and beyond for women, because we are actually at the front burner of most conversations globally. Women, we are the front burner. So how do we tap into that as women?
Yeah, I would say specifically women in Nigeria, it's critical that you seek support, seek mentorship programs, seek guidance, seek proper training, because the opportunities are there. People are watching, people understand what women are doing, and more opportunities are being created to support. But if your business is not structured, if you don't have your proper documentation, you're gonna miss those opportunities. If you're not seeking mentorship to even find the opportunities, you're going to miss out. And so that's my advice to any woman that's in business who's self-employed. Get your ducks in a row, find mentorship, read, be serious about what it is that you're doing, because there's opportunities that are here and it could transform your life and your family's life and your community.
Absolutely. And there's something you are doing in September, right?
October.
Oh, October. Okay.
October, yes.
Will it be free for the women coming on the program for the mentorship program?
Yes. So our program is free of charge for them. We fundraise. It still costs, but we do offer grants for our program. And what we're doing is giving women practical skills for global positioning. And so, do you have the skill set? Do you have the knowledge to even position your business to go beyond your current borders? And then also offering mentorship after the 1-year program.
Awesome, awesome. Somebody's just greeting us today. Always great women when you got it. Okay, great women. Thank you so much. You didn't put your name. Okay, I think it was, I don't know his name. All right, so thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Nancy. I think we had a fantastic conversation. TGIF, baby.
Yes.
Thank you, Manny.
Yes.
You know, I'd just like to add, because I think I have like 2 seconds or 2 minutes. I cannot let my time
waste. No waste.
You know, I'd like to add that every woman out there, you know, you are actually a potential billionaire. You're a potential employer of labor. Yes. So you can actually, you can take yourself from where you are, you know, to a whole new level that even you did not even see it coming. But we need to be able to open our minds. I mean, I attended a program, and in all fairness, it was shocking. I think I'd mentioned it, where you were put in front of an investor as a woman, and you were asking, this was an investor that had the capacity to give you $1 billion. You were asking for $10,000 because what? You didn't see the vision. You didn't have a big picture, right? So I don't know. Is big picture going to be part of what you're going to be teaching us? How to see it bigger?
You got to dream big. That's the first step. Dreaming big.
Awesome, awesome.
So I wanted to quickly add. Yes, I want to quickly add something based on what Manny said and what you said. In doing business, I feel like you need every individual, male or female, but in this case a woman, you need to have empathy. You need to try to see, like you said, the bigger picture, because it's not about now. So even if you don't have the personal ability to be nice or to be polite or to be, you know, enthusiastic to your customer, then employ somebody who can. But I mean, with this experience, because if, for instance, now the items that she has on her store is good, she wouldn't complain. But the fact that she's complaining and you as an individual, you can handle that. Employ somebody who can, so that you do not lose money.
Why can't we just not get the product right? Do you invest in, do you mentor businesses that their products are not right? I think it should start from the right product, right?
Absolutely. Do you know your market? Because if you have products that are the customers don't like, then something is off. You don't understand your market and who you're selling to.
Absolutely. So I finished my 2 minutes. Thank you again, Nancy. Thank you, Manny. Thank you. Alero had a fantastic show. See me, I want to go to my bed. So before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all the engagements on social media, like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Nancy will be giving out freebies in October, so look out for that, because we always give freebies. It's just that you people do not collect it. We don't know what to Opportunities are there. You have to take it. Nobody's going to hand it over to you. All right, so if you missed today's quote, here it is again. I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress which women have achieved. So when you see a community that is thriving, go and measure it by the progress of the woman. We are the ones leading, men, sorry. We'll see you guys live on Monday at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
Do you know any female between the ages of 18 to 25 who is currently unemployed or an undergraduate who is passionate about technology? Africa Agility is empowering young females between the ages of 18 to 25 with tech skills ranging from
Product management,
web development, artificial intelligence, data science, digital marketing, machine learning, blockchain technology, agile, networking, and cybersecurity through partnership with Cisco. Here is your chance to learn these tech skills for free. We offer a variety of instructor-led and self-paced programs, both physical and virtual. To be a part of our programs, join our community using the details on your screen. Africa Agility is slowly reducing the poverty rate in Africa, one girl at a time. To sponsor a female or to donate to this course, visit donate.africaagility.org. Thank you.
And now, let's join ace broadcaster Mamode Akuga as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, Mamode Akuga. We begin today's package with a report on the state of projects awarded several years ago by the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, in Uzoro Town, headquarters of Isoko North local government area of Delta State.
I want to use this medium to make appeal to the authorities of NDDC to see how they can put this project, how we can put this project to use on completion.
Our next story is an update on the activities of the Olu of Warri Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, who in addition to building bridges of friendship between the Shekiri nation and other kingdoms in the country, has continued to engage government officials at various levels to attract development to the Niger Delta region.
Oil is now approaching $120 a barrel, and Nigeria has to, as much as it can, benefit from that development.
Wrapping it up in today's program is a special package on the recent civic reception organized by the Ekpeye Nation in honor of Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State.
Your Excellency, our people are very proud of you.
Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region will be back after this timeout. Don't go away.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Welcome back. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. Residents of Uzoro Town, headquarters of Isoko North local government area of Delta State, have drawn the attention of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, to some uncompleted projects it awarded some years ago in the area. Convinced that the abandoned projects are intended to improve their lots, they call on the NDDC to complete such projects and ensure their utilization without any further delay.
Uzoro, the largest town in Isoko land, is headquarters of Isoko North local government area of Delta State and is inhabited by approximately 200,000 persons. In 2013, the NDDC awarded a project to build a skills acquisition center to benefit youths of the town who are largely unemployed. The project was abandoned by the contractor, who later resurfaced in June last year. Chairman of Uzoro Project Monitoring Committee, Dr. Mike Enahoro, told our crew that after making substantial progress on the project, the contractor was nowhere to be found again.
We did a petition, it was at this stage. But now, after this, they came and started doing some work here. Immediately we wrote that That is when the federal, Mr. President came out with the idea of forensic audit. That as a result of that fear that they came. But now you see they have relaxed.
About 10 years ago, the NDDC awarded a project for the construction of a 50-bed space hospital in Uzoro Town, in line with its mandate to improve quality of life in the Niger Delta. To the dismay of its intended beneficiaries, the project remains uncompleted till date. Equally worrisome for residents of Uzoro Town is the abandoned state of a project awarded by the NDDC for the construction of 28 kilometers of internal roads to link up communities and foster economic development in the area.
I would like me NDDC help us do the road because if rain fall, we know if we pass this road at all. Now die.
But because the road is not good, especially the rainy season, whereby even the farmers, they cannot pass through that road with their motorcycle or their bicycles. So it's very difficult. So if NDC could do this to this community, we really appreciate it.
The Delta State University of Science and Technology, Uzoro, plays host to two projects awarded sometime in 2012 by the NDDC, a twin lecture theatre and ICT center. When contacted, Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Jacob Snaps Obore, said it would be highly appreciated if the NDDC could facilitate their completion and ensure that they are put into use.
I want to use this medium to make appeal to the authorities of NDDC to see how they can put this project, how we can put this project to use on completion, and also supply us with the needed equipment. We'll be very, very grateful to NDDC.
Under the leadership of its interim administrator, Dr. Effiong Akwa, the NDDC last year commenced the process of completing key projects abandoned at various times, leading to completion of its corporate headquarters in Port Harcourt, a 1,050-bed space hostel at the University of Uyo, Base 6 of the Nigerian Police Special Protection Unit at Omagwa in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, and several other projects in the Niger Delta. It is on this note that residents of Uzoro are calling on the NDDC to earmark abandoned projects in their domain for completion, just as it has done with similar projects in other communities.
Inside the Niger Delta.
About 7 months after he was crowned the 21st Olu of Warri Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III has continued to embark on activities aimed at building bridges between the Ishakiris and other kingdoms in the country. He has also been engaging with governments at different levels to ensure the enthronement of peace and tranquility, not only in the Niger Delta but across Nigeria. Last week, Ogiame Atuashe III was in Kogi State to renew the ancestral ties between the Igalas and the Ishakiris as he attended the coronation of the 28th Ata of Igala, His Royal Majesty Matthew Alhaji Opaoluwa Oguchiakpa. The monarch quickly returned to Warri the next day to personally receive His Excellency, the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. The Olu's Palace in Warri, otherwise known as the Agofe, last Saturday witnessed a facelift as it was decorated in readiness to receive Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. Several Ishekiri sons and daughters were also in the palace to join Ogiame Atuashe III in hosting Nigeria's #2 citizen. The Ishekiri traditional dancers were also in the palace to entertain the august visitor. While thanking Ogiame Atuashe III and the Ishekiri nation for receiving him, Professor Yemi Osinbajo noted that because of the critical role traditional rulers play in enthroning peace in the Niger Delta, it had become imperative for the federal government to have a clearly defined role for traditional rulers in the area of maintaining security. Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who was accompanied to the palace by the Deputy Governor of Delta State, Barrister Kingsley Otuaro, said because Nigeria depends on oil for its economic survival, it was critical to ensure peace in and around the communities that surround the oil fields in the Niger Delta.
The role of the traditional council, the traditional rulership in our country is critical to security, absolutely critical. And I'm happy that this is something that Your Royal Majesty also not only recognizes but accepts as a major function of the traditional rulership. Our country depends a great deal on oil production. And we want to see that security challenges, oil theft, and some of what we're seeing in the Delta and in many of our oil-producing communities are swiftly brought to an end.
In his own remarks, Ogiame Atuashe III thanked Vice President Yemi Osinbajo for supporting Mr. President in the governance of the country. He pledged his support and indeed the support of the traditional institutions across the country to ensure that peace reigns in Nigeria.
Oil is now approaching $120 a barrel, and Nigeria has to, as much as it can, benefit from that development. Not quite a week ago, we did something unprecedented. We have personally committed ourselves to ensuring that where we had a hitch in Ogidigbe, where the production was shut down, we have personally committed ourselves to make sure that not only are things restored, but the IOC's commitment to the community, which was the cause of the breakdown, is finally resolved. Please let the President know that once there is anything that resembles a security situation, he can call on us, and he has our full cooperation.
A day earlier, before receiving the Vice President, Ogiame Atuashe III had made a historic visit to Ida in Kogi State to attend the epoch-making coronation of the 28th Ata of Igala, His Royal Majesty Matthew Alhaji Opalua Oguche-Akpa. According to Ogiame Atuashe III, his attendance at the coronation event was also to renew the ancestral ties between the Ishekiris and the Igalas.
The Ishekiri people are originally comprised of 5 indigenous communities. 4 of them have their origins in Ogun State, and the 5th one, which hosts our ancestral capital, has its origins here in Igala. And so it's very, very important. It's very, very important that we have come full circle to come and identify with our brothers across the Niger.
He congratulated His Royal Majesty Alhaji Opalua Oguche-Akpa, who officially received the staff of office from Governor Yahaya Bello as the 28th Ata of Igala. Despite being new on the throne himself, Ogiame Atuashe III had some words of advice for the new Ata of Igala.
You always have to have God with you. You keep God close. Keep your ears open to what your people are saying, to what your advisors are saying, and be gracious, be humble, be approachable. And I'm sure that God has bestowed upon him these gifts, these traits that would encourage him to enable him to succeed in his role.
Before attending the coronation of the 28th Ata of Igala, Ogiame Atuashe III had officially paid a courtesy visit to the governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, where he presented the governor with a souvenir.
Inside the Niger Delta, Azikel Group, oil and gas, dredging, power and air transportation. Azikel Group, petroleum product sufficiency, energy sustainability, and infrastructure development.
Everything home, all in one place. Visit Home Options today at 22 Aba Port Harcourt Express Road, Port Harcourt, River State, or call 080-998-08678 or 080-331-34055 or visit our website www.homeoptionsng.com.
Governor Nyesom Wike recently added another feather to his cap when the Ekpeye Nation conferred a chieftaincy title on him at a colorful civic reception organized in his honor at Ahoda Town, headquarters of Ahoda East Local Government Area of River State. In the following package, we bring you highlights of the colorful occasion graced by many dignitaries from far and near.
For 2 consecutive days on Thursday the 3rd and Friday 4th of March 2021, Governor Nyesom Wike was in Ahoda, headquarters of Ahoda East Local Government Area of River State, to commission projects executed by his administration to better the lives of the people. The projects include the Edelha Ikata Ochigba Road, Ahoda Odiemerenyi Ihugbogo Road, Ahoda Ekpeno Road, Odioku Internal Roads, and several others.
It's one of the promises I made when I came to this area during the course of our campaigns. To the glory of God, I want to say, every promise I've made here, I have fulfilled them. Now that we have fulfilled, they first of all fulfilled their own promise by voting for us. We have also reciprocated by fulfilling our own promise of providing the physical infrastructures. Ahoda will no longer be a rural area. Ahoda will be one of the cities as far as River State is concerned.
Governor Wike's recent 3-day visit to Ahoda Town peaked with a civic reception organized for him by the Ekpeye Nation on Saturday the 5th of March 2022 at the St. Peter's Catholic School field in Ahoda. The ancient Ahoda town was agog with life as several groups including youths, women and traditional rulers of Ekpeye Kingdom turned out in their numbers to celebrate a caring leader, one of their own who is married to their illustrious daughter, the amiable Honorable Justice Suzette Wike.
We feel very excited, we feel very elated, and we feel very privileged that God and destiny made it possible that we produced the wife of such a great man. So we are happy, very, very happy. And to God be all the glory that this day has finally come.
Governor Nyesom Wike has worked for Ekpeye people. And so today is a day of appreciation. So every Ekpeye person feels good.
Accompanied by ex-Governor Celestine Omehia, former Governor of Kaduna State, Senator Ahmed Markafi, and other dignitaries, Governor Wike was in Ahoda to receive the title of Eze Gbabuze Ekpeye Uluwan of Ekpeye Kingdom, which in English translates to the leader who uplifts Ekpeye Kingdom. The conferment of the chieftaincy title on the governor was by the Ekpeye Council of Traditional Rulers, the highest decision-making body in Ekpeye Kingdom.
After this coronation, His Excellency will be entitled to all the rights and privileges attached to the title and as applicable to all members of the Ekpeye Traditional Council. This occasion is to formally induct His Excellency into the Ekpeye Traditional Council.
Our people have just put this together in appreciation of all what he's been doing. But then, there's one thing. We are not going to take for granted the show of love. We are going to reciprocate the way we've been doing by continuing to support him, by continuing to pray for him until he gets to the pinnacle of his political career, where all nations will hear his name.
The civic reception organized for Governor Wike by the Ekpeye Nation was grand and colorful. The excitement that rent the air was punctuated by colorful dances, a wrestling contest, and masquerade display depicting the rich culture of the Ekpeye ethnic nation.
we cherish our culture here in Ekpe land, and when it comes to tradition, you see us on our traditional attire to showcase the culture, to showcase the pride of the people. We are all fully dressed in our attire. We tie our native wrapper called Ijele, and we are here to cheer up the occasion. We are also part of the people that we serve.
The ambient excitement at the civic reception rose gradually and reached a crescendo when pop maestro Timaya, who is officially recognized as the Egberi Papa One of Bayelsa, mounted the stage to perform. The civic reception organized recently in honor of Governor Wike by the Ekpeye Nation was not without basis. The Ekpeye people, who are geopolitically affiliated to Ahoda East and Ahoda West local government areas of Rivers State, had been relegated politically before this time. Ahoda, the traditional headquarters of Ekpeye Kingdom, was an administrative province in colonial times. And so, in May 1967, when Rivers State was created, the government of the day recognized the old colonial provinces of Port Harcourt, Ahoda, Bori, and Degema as takeoff points for even and rapid development of the oil-rich state. Unfortunately, Ahoda was relegated to the background in spite of mounting requests by the Ekpeye ethnic nation for the ancient town to be accorded its pride of place in the physical development of Rivers State. Much to the relief of the Ekpeye people, the Wike administration had come to their rescue. Today, Ahoda town is undergoing a massive turnaround with an urban renewal policy initiated to give it a major facelift. A major project undertaken by the Wike administration to drive socio-economic development in Ahoda town and its immediate vicinity is the ongoing reconstruction and dualization of the Ahoda-Omoko Road. In addition to the provision of critical infrastructure for the Ekpeye people, Governor Wike had restored their dignity as a people by upgrading all traditional schools in Ekpeye Kingdom to first-class status. Former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives and Esama Ekpeye Logbu of Ekpeye Kingdom, Right Honorable Chibudon Moche, hailed Governor Wike for coming to the rescue of his people.
It was not long ago when our kings fought in vain to uplift their stools that were deserving of upliftment, but that was never done. I know that our late monarch, my father, may so rest in peace, wrote severally to uplift our stool. That never happened. But under Governor Wike, he lifted up 5 stools at the same time to first class. The road to Ochiba from Idoha was near impassable. It was awarded by the government before his own, but abandoned. When he came, he ensured the road was completed and paid the contractors fully, even though he never gave the contract. Your Excellency, our people are very proud of you. Our people cherish you. They honor you. That is why we have turned out en masse today to welcome you, to say to you that you have indeed done well for our people. May God lead you to higher offices because you've shown capacity. You can lead this nation if called upon.
In a bid to attract development to other parts of Rivers State, the Wike administration is currently building new campuses of the Rivers State University in Eche, Emuoha, and Ahoda East local government areas. Under this arrangement, the institution's Faculty of Humanities has been relocated to Ahoda town and will become operational by May 2022. For students in Ekpeye Kingdom, this is a most welcome development that would change their lives for good.
Time may fail me to enumerate the projects he has initiated here in Ekpeland, but I want to say, notably, the Faculty of Humanities of Rivers State University he has cited here in Ahoda town is a great privilege to us, and it will also boost, of course, the positive impact and the economic growth of the society.
It's an achievement to Ekpeye people, so we are proud and we are happy with him, and we have decided that we are going to follow him to anywhere he wants to be. And we are also praying that God Almighty should lift him to the president of this country.
These are indeed the best of times for Ekpeye people, who admit that they have never had it so good since the creation of River State in May 1967. As part of efforts to restore the dignity of Ekpeye Kingdom, Governor Wike had elevated its traditional stools to the enviable status of first-class chieftaincies. During the recent civic reception organized in his honor, Governor Wike, at the request of the Ekpeye people, elevated the remaining Ugbobi traditional stool to the status of a first-class chieftaincy stool and promised to construct the Ochigba-Ozoche Road, which connects Ekpeye communities in Ahoda East to their counterparts in Ahoda West local government area.
Now, first of all, the only kingdom, the only clan you say you have not received commission, you are hereby recognized. Now, you know the clan, maybe so, you are hereby recognized as first class. My deputy speaker has struggled, very humble, very loyal person, and he cannot go home. We therefore consult the Ochigba Ozoche Road.
Obviously impressed by the massive turnout of Ekpeye people to witness his installation as the Ezegbabuze Ekpeye Uluwan of Ekpeye Kingdom, Governor Wike described it as a memorable day in his life and rededicated himself to the service of the entire River State.
Let me thank my father-in-law and his wife and his family for giving me a good daughter. I appreciate them and may God continue to bless them. Look at the way you came out in mass to honor us. God will honor all of you. God will honor Ekpeye people because you've done well. And wherever I am, I will never forget you. Today is a memorable day. Today is 5th of March 2022. This day, I shall never forget it by history. So I want to thank all of you.
For the people of Ekpeye Kingdom, it was also a memorable day in their lives. The governor's induction into the Ekpeye Council of Chiefs is their own way of appreciating a political leader who, in keeping to his promises, has surpassed their expectations from the dividends of good governance in River State. Consequently, they have vowed to identify with the governor beyond his days as the #1 political leader in River State. It would be recalled that in May 2021, the Ogonis conferred the title of Mene Kwalenu I of Ogoniland on Governor Wike. In the same vein, the governor became the recipient of another traditional title conferred on him by the Kalabari people in February 2022. For friends and close associates of the governor, the accolades from 3 ethnic groups in less than 1 year is a gesture of the goodwill and support he has enjoyed from Rivers people since assumption of office in May 2015. They are hopeful that in the years to come, Governor Nyesom Wike will be remembered for what he has done in River State.
Inside the Niger Delta.
And with that special package, we draw the curtain on the program. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles showing right now on your screen. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria. Until next week, I am Mahmoud Akuga, thanking you for staying tuned. Bye for now.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
On Plus TV News now. Hashtag EndSARS panel orders NDLEA chairman to produce Abba Kyari over human rights violations. "123 more Nigerians return home from Ukraine amid invasion by Russia." President Philippe Nyusi says Cyclone Gombe has claimed 7 lives. Hello and welcome. I'm Tolu Ojomi. This is the news now. An independent investigation panel on Friday ordered the chairman of NDLEA, retired Brigadier General Buba Marwa, to produce Abba Kyari on March 22. The panel also ordered the new commandant of the IGP IRT, Tunde Disu, to do the needful to ensure that Kyari is produced before the panel on the date. The panel is investigating allegations of human rights violations by the disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Team not to vacate their offices. This followed an ex parte motion by counsel to the juror, Roy Umahi. The court had on February 28, 2022, ruled that Governor Umahi and his deputy did not flout any law by defecting from the PDP to the APC. The court had dismissed the matter for lacking in merit and fined the plaintiff, Sani Ogboje, who was the APC candidate, 500,000 naira. However, an Abuja Federal High Court on 8 March, ruling on a similar matter filed by the PDP, ordered the governor and his deputy to vacate their seats. Meanwhile, the Ebonyi Council of Elders has appealed to politicians in the state to maintain peace. This was after a court sacked Governor David Umahi and his deputy, Dr. Kelechi Igwe. Mr. Benjamin Oka, the chairman of the council, made the appeal at a news conference on Friday in Abakaliki. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja sacked them along with 16 members of the Ebonyi House of Assembly following their defection from the PDP to the APC. Oka also appealed to the general public to remain calm, pray for peace, go about their businesses, and ignore fake social media reports. A Yaba Magistrates Court in Lagos State has remanded the embattled driver of the bus rapid transit, Anais Andrew, for 30 days in Kirikiri prison. Nice was arrested in connection with the murder of a passenger, Oluwabamiche Ayonwole. Magistrate O.A. Salawu held that he was remanded pending legal advice from the Lagos State Directorate of Public Prosecution. The The defendant, whose plea was not taken by the court, is charged with conspiracy, murder, rape, and misconduct with regards to corpses.
The Nigerian police force has neglected in its duty in arraigning the suspects in this matter. Thus far, the Nigerian police force has not met the constitutional requirement of arraigning this person. We have been told by the investigating police officer assigned to the matter that he has so obtained a remand order. That means the investigation is still ongoing. Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, he has refused, neglected to obey his constitutional duty, which he has sworn to by virtue of Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to the effect that he will uphold the security and the security and safety of lives and properties. The governor of Lagos State has not paid a condolence visit to the family. There are other matters of the state, quote and unquote, possibly dancing Pasuma at Tafawa Balewa Square, that is paramount than the lives of ordinary Lagosians. It was exactly our insistence that the police should so arraign and do nice that he was so arraigned today. I have listened to different versions and rumors and all that. And as a legal practitioner, I want to invite the office of the chief pathologist of Lagos State, said that the police came to obtain an order for remand. An order for remand is to so say, we have exhausted the time within which the Constitution gives us to keep anybody in custody, but we want more time to keep him in custody.
Still on that story, reactions continue to trail the murder of Oluwabamishi Anyawole on Lagos BRT. A cross-section of Lagos residents have called on the government to install CCTV cameras on all BRT vehicles for effective monitoring of activities of the drivers and passengers while in transit. Our correspondent, Lavi Oyedokun, reports.
The news has been shocking, especially to commuters who use the BRT on a daily basis. The BRT is regarded as a safe mode of transport since the scheme is run by private investors but with the supervision of the state government. The brutal murder of Oluwabamishi and alleged involvement of our BRT driver, Nice Andrew, to her death may have put a crack on the trust and confidence on the BRT.
The life is gone. Must we die first before we begin to react? Why are we not proactive? Why are we not considering actions and activities that will protect the greatest assets of man, which is life? Why? Do you know the generations that have been wiped out by just that one lady? Do you know the trauma that has been set into place? It's pity. It's a pity.
Lagosians call for heightened security on the buses.
They can implant a camera or whatever, monitoring. And those staffs should have adequate data. I think they can do eye photograph, to cover their eyelid, their fingerprints, and some other things in order to get those staffs secure.
If there was a camera in that vehicle, I don't know how far it is true. If there's a camera, well, they have tried for that one. But can they produce the camera? I don't know. But if they can still do, concerning this issue, elders, adults people, our old age, in other countries, they don't retire then. We believe that old age, you people old age, they can give them, power. So to be monitoring such things, because I believe that they will not deceive the nation.
We need to sensitize the people. You talked about the young lady crying for help and nobody responded. Let me ask a question. How many times have you seen maybe the the federal government arm of disaster management coming out to say everybody in Obalende, today we want to fake a bus that is on fire? Fake the bus on fire, do a drill, and see how people jump from their Okada, jump from their private car, and respond to rescue.
Despite fears resulting from Bamishi's death, Lagosians still believe the BRT system is the most comfortable and reliable mode of transportation in Lagos State. From Lagos, Love Ikuku Oyedoku, Plus TV News.
A clinical psychologist, Dr. Olukayode Olugbemi, on Friday claimed that a 14-year-old minor whom Babajish allegedly defiled appeared to have been tortured in a narration of what happened. Olugbemi also noted that something was wrong with the footage of an interview conducted by child rights expert and prosecution witness Mrs. Olabisi Ajayi Kayode. He made the claim while testifying at the third defense witness before an Ikeja Special Offences Court. Olugbemi was led in evidence by the defense counsel, Mr. Dada Awoshika. During the interview, the child narrated to the child expert how the Nollywood actor had defied her 7 years prior. She also revealed how she was also sexually assaulted by the defendant when he came to her home on April 19, 2021. Baba Ijesha is facing a 6-count charge bordering on indecent treatment of a child and sexual assault. Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo adjourned the case to April 1 for the continuation of trial. Now, following a series of coronation rites, a former member of the National Assembly, Mahood Olalekun Balogun, has been crowned as the 42nd Olubadan of Ibadan land. Speaking at the epoch-making event, Professor Yemi Oshibajo lauded the Ibadan traditional ascension system, which he described as worthy of emulation.
To satisfy our political whims, we make decisions that do not protect our traditional systems. But this is why the custodians of our culture must always take a stand against us politicians tinkering with age-old traditional system. No politician, no matter how highly placed, can destroy any system without the cooperation of some members of these systems. So therefore, I want to use this opportunity to ask the Kabiyesi and the Olubadan Council that we work to ensure that the laws having to do with the ascension to the throne of Olubadan remain sacrosanct.
I must congratulate you as you also enter the history books, being one of the few governors who have had the joyful and historic duty of handing the staff of office to a new Olubadan. Ibadan became the hub of politics in the then new nation and the capital of Western region. It was and is still acknowledged as the political headquarters of the entire southwest of Nigeria. Ibadan was and has always been a city on a hill, a place of refuge and a realm in which individuals could rise by the grace of their talents on merit.
Troops have recovered 4 anti-aircraft guns from terrorists during operations carried out between February 24 and March 10. This was disclosed during the press briefing of the Directorate of Defense Media Operations on Nigeria's military operations. 43 adult males, 58 females, and 73 children from villages around Bama and Diko local government area of Borno State surrendered to own troops. All surrendered terrorists and their families have been profiled. Now, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awol Gambo, has flagged off the 2022 Operation Obagem Express. It's aimed at improving security among naval forces of the Gulf of Guinea and allied countries. The exercise took place aboard the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Thunder at the One port in Elemi local government area of Rivers State. The report.
Exercise Obangame Express is part of efforts to protect the maritime sector of the economy for sustainable use of the resources and effective security of maritime trade. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, said the exercise is designed to improve operational readiness. It will also promote maritime domain awareness, information sharing practices, and tactical interdiction expertise of the Navy.
The exercise is designed to improve regional collaboration through joint operations, intelligence sharing, and harmonized legal frameworks to enhance the collective capabilities of Gulf of Guinea nations against maritime crimes.
The Naval Chief said it is instructive considering efforts of the federal government at operationalizing the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement.
According to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, the African Continental Free Trade Area has the potential to boost intra-African trade by 33% and cut the continent's trade deficit by 21%. It is thus envisaged that Nigeria and indeed the Nigerian Navy would provide a lead role in this regard.
Vice Admiral Gambo commended the United States government through the U.S. Africa Command and other international partners for facilitating and sustaining the exercise. He expressed hope that this year's exercise will achieve the target of ensuring security at several waterways among the Gulf of Guinea nations. The flag officer commanding Central Naval Command is Rear Admiral Idi Abbas. He assured that the exercise will keep businesses alive and provide the impetus for enhanced overall maritime safety.
Exercise Obangame Express 2022 presents that ample opportunity for the Nigerian Navy to work together with other regional and friendly foreign navies in the spirit of the Yaoundé Agreement.
The exercise will aim to create a safe and secure maritime environment for shipping and other economic activities through the prevention of piracy, sea robbery, crude oil theft, illegal bunkering, and other forms of criminalities within our maritime domain. Pertinently,
in all, 24 friendly forces will participate with representatives of the agencies like the U.S. Africa Command.
The people of Ikorodu community have heaved a sigh of relief as they trooped out to the town hall to witness the unveiling of Ikorodu Division Peace Initiative Limited. The security outfit has been established to provide information to Nigeria Police Force in order to bring sanity to Ikorodu, which is notorious for crimes. Our correspondent Paul George reports that the event was well attended.
Stakeholders in the community put together the Ikorodu Division Peace Initiative Limited, IDPIL. The move is inspired by waves of crime in Ikorodu. Royal Majesties and people from all walks of life graced the occasion. The host, Odofin Adeomi Ogunsoya, a senior advocate of Nigeria, is the chairman of IDPIL. In his opening speech, he says there has been no other option than to find a means to curb the incessant criminal activities in Ikorodu. He speaks alongside the executive secretary of the initiative.
It is high time security was seen as the collective responsibility of all stakeholders and hence should not be left for the government alone. I'm glad and proud to state that Ikorodu Division has blazed the trail, being the first among the 5 divisions of Lagos State to embark on this well-structured community-sponsored security arrangement.
Ikorodu scenario in terms of criminalities has been very, very unpalatable. And we cannot continue, and no government and no kingship will allow his kingdom to turn into a den of robbers, to turn into a den of kidnappers. And that is why we come up with IDIPIST to look into these issues and provide solutions to them.
On his part, the chairman of the occasion hints of continuous support in order to get rid of the criminals in Ikorodu.
The initiative is so very important. Secure the environment. After securing the environment, then try to grow the environment and prosper the environment. That will make a contribution to this cause and to continue to support this cause.
The Anyogbore of Ikorodu, Kabiru Shotobi, will rather speak in Yoruba language to drive his message down to indigenes of Ikorodu.
Lọ́wọ́ orí adé gbogbo orí adé tó wà níbí báyìí lénìí ipe nǹkan tí a jọ ṣe àṣọrò ẹ̀ ní Council of Obas and Chiefs Ikorodu Division ó materialize lénìí. Eléyìí tó wà fún ní iṣẹ́ ìlú kò wà fún iṣẹ́ ajagunbalẹ̀. Wọ́n gbalẹ̀ mi, wọ́n dúró lórí ilẹ̀ mi, kò wà fún yẹn rárá, wọ́n tẹ̀ ti ṣe insurance fún wọn to look after 4 of their family.
The high point of the event is the unveiling of utility vehicles and 20 motorcycles for security operations within the community. It is hoped that this move will achieve its obvious aim to rid Ikorodu of crimes. Paul George, Plus TV News.
123 more Nigerians who fled the invasion in Ukraine by Russia have been brought back home. They returned to Nigeria aboard an Air Peace plane with registration number 98SLF. It arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja at about 1:20 a.m. on Friday. Officials of the National Emergency Management Agency and those of other relevant government agencies were ready on the ground to receive the returnees. Also at the airport to receive them were officials of the Nigeria Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, also the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, and the Federal Ministry of Health, among others.
You are now going to proceed to points where the federal government of Nigeria, of course through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and other able agencies, is going to provide you with $100 each for your welcoming this morning. After that, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, in conjunction with MTN, is also going to provide you with free SIM cards with 5,000 naira loaded on all of them in order to allow you to communicate with your loved ones.
APC has reaffirmed that its March 26 National Convention date remains sacrosanct. Representatives of the youths and the caretaker committee, Ismail Ahmed, said the subcommittees had swung into action. This was while briefing journalists on the progress made so far ahead of the convention. Mr. Ahmed, who is heading the publicity subcommittee of the convention, said they will leave no stone unturned in ensuring the success of the exercise. He explained that they were also committed to the protection of the mandate of Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi after a federal high court sacked him for defecting to the APC. Meanwhile, Governor Bello Mohammed Matawalle of Zamfara State has cautioned his colleagues against washing their dirty linens in public. Governor Matawalle spoke against the backdrop of recent happenings within the APC. That's where the Ondo State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, was reported to have referred to some of his colleagues with harsh words as a result of their roles in the recent efforts at reshaping fortunes of the party. Now, ahead of the 2023 general elections, INEC has registered 111,762 fresh voters in Adamawa State. Resident Electoral Commissioner in charge of Adamawa State, Barrister Kasim Gaidam, announced the development, stressing that 83,395 have completed the registration. Barrister Gaidam assured the people of the state that the Commission has approved the decentralization of CVR to registration areas and wards on rational basis. He also appreciates the matured responses from the electorate. The RSA, however, advised those yet to register to do so, as the CVR will be suspended around June, preparatory to processing data in readiness for the elections.
With the commencement of the continuous voter registration exercise, first online and later on the 19th of July 2021 in person at the state office and INEC offices across the 21 local government areas of the state. As at 7th March 2022, a total of 111 online registrants were recorded, with 83,395,000 having completed their registration. Other milestones recorded include 2,983 reviews, 9,512 information updates, 14,000 transfers, 3,420 207 PVC collections. With the commencement,
the federal government has launched Nigeria's Family Planning 2030 Commitment and other reproductive health policy documents in Abuja. This follows a United Nations Children's Fund that UNICEF report, which says about 50% of adolescent girls in Nigeria become mothers before the age of 20. The Minister of Health, Dr. Sagi Hanire, performed the launch. He said the Family Planning 2030 Commitment and other documents were a demonstration of Nigeria's efforts towards increasing access to family planning services in the country. Dr. Hanire explained that the federal government was dedicated to continuing the journey of the FP partnership. Now, the governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, has said the ongoing strike by ASU has no bearing with the Delta State government. We are not in dispute with any staff union in any of our tertiary institutions. The governor made his statement at the inauguration of members of the governing councils of 3 new universities in Asaba, Delta State capital. Our correspondent Friday Akpomejo reported that Governor Ifeanyi Okowa stressed that the issues raised by ASU at the national level do not pertain to Delta State at all. The governor said the allowances they are asking for are already being enjoyed by staff in Delta State tertiary institutions for several years now.
That the only way to go is to realize that there's only one chief executive in the university, the Vice Chancellor. I know from experience of 5 years as Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin, in which I had several pro-chancellors. The pro-chancellor must distance himself or herself from the day-to-day running of the university.
Ongoing strike by the academic staff union of universities has no bearing with the Delta State government. We are not in dispute with any staff union in any of our tertiary institutions. The issues raised by ASU at national level do not pertain to us in Delta, as the allowances they are asking for are already being enjoyed by staff in our tertiary institutions. We also respectfully disagree with the position of ASU that there is an unhealthy proliferation of state universities in the country. The establishment of universities is on the concurrent list, and as a state, we do so when the need arises.
Indigents of Inikora in Ovia Southwest local government area of Edo State have lamented the lack of government presence in their community. And as part of measures to ease their plight, they are sorting for help from well-meaning individuals, government, and organizations. They have now resorted to self-help in providing basic amenities for themselves for decades. Valentin Osuba filed in this report, presented from our studios.
Inikoroka is one of the oil host community in Ovia Southwest of Edo State. Now it seems to be a shadow of itself as indigents have no access to social amenities. More worrisome is the road leading to the community, as it is a no-go area when the rain sets in.
Like you people came here now, all the way from Igwonwa. It's by community effort. The road is seriously bad.
Journey from here to Benin supposed to be about 30 to 40 minutes. 40 minutes on the maximum. But we now travel from here to Benin for over 2 hours.
So this road, we dey pass go Benin, sometime a year, we know they see motor because bad road. This boy, Mr. Kuba, he come. He say he must do it for us. Really, he gather the people. The road, he do am. Now we dey enjoy the road.
In a bid to ease their plight as a people, they are calling on individuals, government, and organizations to rescue them from the hardship. They want both the state and federal governments to come to their aid as well as their children.
The reason why you can drive through the road to this place is because of what our brother, our leader, person of Honorable Ambassador Don Okubo Robert and the community.
What prompted me from taking it as a challenge upon myself
in terms of repairing this road is because of the suffering that our people has been passing through. Every rainy season, this road is unmotorable. We use this medium to call on the state government and the federal government. They should assist us. They should please assist us. They should come and tie the road.
With this call, it is expected that the people of Inikoroka will soon find the succor they badly yearn for.
There is a need for a regular eye test in order to detect and treat glaucoma before it enters the danger zone. These were words from experts as the world marks Glaucoma Week, and Plus TV News Health correspondent Ngozika Hechichi has more in this report.
Each year, the World Glaucoma Week adopts a common theme to observe the initiative. This year's theme is "The World is Bright, Save Your Sight." This brings to fore the need for citizens to take responsibility and good care of their eye to prevent vision impairment and irreversible blindness caused by glaucoma and other blinding eye conditions. This initiative puts a spotlight on glaucoma as a leading cause of preventable irreversible blindness worldwide. However, so many people are unaware they have the disease or may not have access to much-needed care. This is Bethesda Home for the Blind. Some visually impaired students tell us the story of how the silent thief stole their sight away. Meet Nathaniel Ndukwe, a 200-level visually impaired student of the University of Lagos, who wasn't born blind.
We started, let's say, about 10 years ago, when I was working with Julius Berger Nigeria PLC as a subcontractor. So that is when I started noticing the slight change on my sight. So just like that, I started going from one eye clinic to another. That's when they now confirmed it to be glaucoma.
Christopher, a CN, had similar experience than Nathaniel. He used to believe that blindness affects older people until he was caught up with the blindness in his early 20s.
I used to pay people to take me out. As I do the advice, before you take me out, people demand money from me. They will ask me for money. I'll pay you. But sometimes I don't have that money to pay them. That's why I feel that embarrassment and everything. So now challenge on the road and everything.
Their eye condition isn't stopping them from improving and working towards achieving greater visions.
I passed through the craft class, so I learned how to make bead and otherwise. So that before I now moved to the jam class, where I sat for jam. So there have been a lot of improvement. Who would ever believe that a blind person can still go to school?
You can bring any computer to me now, I will operate it the way you operate computer. There's no phone. I can tell you that. Even myself now, I can challenge you now. Let's make it a phone. There's nothing you can do on phone I cannot do.
With over 15 years of experience as an optometrist and an eye wellness promoter, Rose Azike speaks on how to reduce the risk of developing glaucoma.
Now, number one is a family history of glaucoma. If your mother, your father, or someone in your family has glaucoma, there is a likely chance your risk of getting it is high because it's hereditary. That's number one. Then two is age. Starting from age 40, people that are age 40 and above are at an increased risk of getting glaucoma. Then other things are eye injury, ocular trauma.
She wants the government at all levels and private organizations to create an awareness about glaucoma while advising regular checks of the eye. Ngozika Ohaiches, Plus TV News.
Poor nutrition costs Nigeria over $1.5 billion in GDP every year, threatening the health of citizens and the economic potential of the nation. Fortifying staple foods with key vitamins and minerals is one of the most scalable, sustainable, and cost-effective tools to combat malnutrition in Nigeria and worldwide. This was a main thrust at the 4th annual Nigeria Food Processors and Nutrition Leadership Forum to announce progress in fortifying staple foods with essential vitamins and minerals. Justin Akadwe has more.
4th Annual Nigeria Food Processing and Leadership Forum, data showing significant progress in the fortification of staple foods in Nigeria was presented. During the last 4 years, the forum has experienced increased engagement by the federal government and CEOs of Nigeria's largest food processing companies, resulting in years of steady progress. The data presented at the forum, which was chaired by Aliko Dangote, demonstrated sustained fortification compliance for some key micronutrients and a decline for others, largely due to supply chain issues caused by the pandemic of COVID-19. Also, the issue of the Russia-Ukraine crisis came to the fore with a specific mention of wheat production.
It's not a false claim, and I'm sure that NAFDAC has also been working on this because we've got several visits from NAFDAC on this issue. So it's not a wasted question, and we are on top of it. We are also working on not just the saturated fats, we're also working on use of multi-purpose tankers and trailers in conveying vegetable oil, and we are working with NAFDAC on that.
As of today, prices of wheat have gone up. Now, there's a lag in the system that comes because of inventory controls and inventory management, but it is something that we need to be sitting down with government today to discuss about what measures can we put in place to alleviate what is coming down the road.
Russia and Ukraine, they do almost about 13% of the world's urea and then 26% of the world's potash. And then phosphate also, they are one of the largest in the world. So, and that dough has actually, gone up. There will be scarcity of food generally, because people will not be able to access fertilizers going forward. And we will not see the effect now, but in the next 2-3 months, this thing is going to show.
Fortifying staple foods has been proven to be one of the most cost-effective and scalable tools to combat malnutrition.
Coming up now on our Street Views, Nigerians express concerns over maintenance culture of government infrastructure. Take a listen.
Actually, I'm not satisfied with the way we handle government properties and equipments in the country. Take, for instance, if you look at our roads, when the roads are constructed, they are always good. We will celebrate, but in the next 2-3 years, come and look at the road again, everything it will be something else. There will be potholes, there will be this, and there will be all over the road. Even the street lights will no longer, you see the bulbs are not working again. And that is because we lack this maintenance culture in Nigeria.
They leave these things to totally decay just in order to allocate unnecessary cash to do them, such that they can siphon this cash at the end of the day. Now, so when they are supposed to maintain this thing, when the decay is very little, they don't do it. Do you get? So once something that's supposed to fix with very little cash, when they start seeing the decay, they don't do it. They allow it to totally collapse, so that they can allocate money such that it can benefit their pocket. That's what they do. So maintenance culture is basically zero. We pray that we don't suffer dearly for our negligence.
Government facilities are poorly managed, are poorly maintained because there are no checks and balances, and also because of the bureaucracy nature of governance. For you to even just get somebody to come and clean the place, you need to get an approval from one director from Abuja. One director needs to send approval to one, So the bureaucracy process is really one of the factors that is also affecting the maintenance culture of government facilities.
Still ahead, at least 17 killed, dozens wounded in Malaysia attack in Darfur. Details when we return. Stay with us.
Life can be fun and rewarding, but it also comes with some risk. As in business, you win some, you lose some. And That's why you need to be wise in the choices you make. It's like placing a bet. Again, you need to be wise. Wise in choosing an innovative platform with the highest market options and highest odds ever. That's why Winners Golden Bet, the leader in online, in-shop, virtual, and live sports betting, gives you enhanced platforms that offer you the best chances of winning. For betting on live soccer matches, live dog races, and virtual games. Winners Golden Bet is your best bet. Instant payment of winnings guaranteed. Play online or in any of our numerous shops nearest to you.
Hey guys, be wise. Play on Winners Golden Bet.
Winners Golden Bet, the wise choice.
Thanks for staying with us. Now we take you through other parts of Africa. At least 17 people were killed and dozens wounded in the Jebel Moon area of Darfur on Thursday in a militia attack, activists report. It comes after a similar attack killed 16 people earlier this week and just months after the area was rocked by violence late last year. 4 villages were burned down in the attack, said the Coordinating Committee for Refugees and Displaced People in a statement. 8 groups have noted a sharp uptick in violence and displacement in Darfur following a peace agreement signed in October 2020. At least 7 people died as Tropical Cyclone Gombe made an early morning landfall in Mozambique on Friday. It packed wind speeds exceeding 200 kilometers per hour, some 125 miles per hour, that pummeled north and central areas of the country. President Felipe Nyusi said the country has been struggling to recover from a series of devastating cyclones that have killed scores of people and displaced thousands. According to the Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Wind Scale, Category 3 denotes cyclones with 1 minute maximum sustained winds of between 178 kilometers per hour and 207 kilometers per hour. France will still provide area military support to Malian troops battling an Islamist insurgency in Sahel. That's even after its counter-terrorism mission has withdrawn. But only where Russian fighters are not present, the force's commander said on Friday. Mali's former colonial power announced last month that it will pull out over 5,000 troops deployed to the Sahel region almost a decade ago. That's after relations with Mali's ruling military junta turned sour earlier this year. Tensions arose over the junta's decision to delay democratic elections in February, as well as its collaboration with private contractors belonging to Russia's Wagner Group. At least 750 civilians were killed between July and December 2021 in 2 regions of northern Ethiopia. That's where war has been raging for the past 16 months, according to a report published on Friday by the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission. The independent but government-affiliated body conducted its investigations in the Afar and Amhara regions. That's where the conflict that broke out in November 2020 in neighboring Tigray between Tigrayan rebels and pro-government forces has been spreading since last July. Now, over 40 Moroccan teachers have been given 2-month suspended prison sentences for demonstrating without authorization. The demonstration was in favor of a reform of the professional status that has crippled public education in Morocco since 2019, the lawyer said on Friday. In the same case, the Rabat court, which handed down its verdict on Thursday, imposed 3 months imprisonment on a teacher. That was for contempt of a constituted body. Suad Braham, who has decided to appeal, told reporters about the decision. The teachers were charged with unauthorized assembly and violation of the state of health emergency. In addition, 25 other people are still being prosecuted for the same reasons, while the teachers' mobilization still continues. Now we go to Kenya. Kenya lifted its remaining COVID-19 restrictions on Friday, including a ban on large indoor gatherings. These include religious services and a requirement to present a negative COVID-19 test for arriving air passengers. Although Kenyans should continue heeding public health measures such as hand washing and social distancing, face masks are no longer mandatory in public. All quarantine measures are confirmed. COVID-19 cases are halted with immediate effect, Health Minister Mutahi Kagwe told a news conference. Nearly 29% of Kenyan adults are fully vaccinated, more than most countries in sub-Saharan Africa. Now let's get outside Africa. NATO Secretary General John Stoltenberg said on Friday that humanitarian corridors constituted the bare minimum of what Ukraine needs at this moment. He called on Russia to withdraw its forces and engage in diplomatic efforts in good faith. There were talks between Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Ukrainian counterpart Dmytro Kuleba in Turkey on Thursday, but they made no apparent progress towards a ceasefire as the conflict entered its third week.
I continue to believe it is important that we work hard for a political diplomatic solution, and to achieve such a solution, leaders from Ukraine have to meet with leaders from Russia, and therefore I think it was important that a meeting was convened here in Antalya between the Foreign Minister of Ukraine and the Foreign Minister of Russia. But of course, to have any political solution, Russia has to stop this senseless invasion of Ukraine. They need to withdraw their forces and engage in good faith in diplomatic efforts. The bare minimum is to establish humanitarian corridors where people can get out and humanitarian aid can get in. Any attack on civilians is violation of international law, is a war crime.
Up next, Aliko Dangote urges federal government to ban exportation of maize. That's in business news after this short break. Stay with us.
And on business news, the President Chief Executive Officer of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has explained why the federal government should place a ban on the exportation of maize. Dangote, while speaking at the 4th Annual Nigerian Food Processor and Nutrition Leadership Forum in Lagos, said the ban has become necessary in order to ensure food security in the country in the face of the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, which poses serious challenges for global food supply. The forum was organized by the Aliko Dangote Foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and TechnoServe under the Strengthening Africa Processor of Fortified Foods program. The Nigerian National Action Committee on the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, has revealed that its strategic objective is to capture 10% of African imports by 2035, thereby doubling Nigeria's export in the process. This was disclosed by the coordinator of Oil and Gas Workstream, Secretariat of the National Action Committee on the AFCFTA, Franca Achumugu, the implementation plan adoption meeting with the Oil and Gas Workstream, which was held at the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation headquarters, Abuja, Nigeria. She added that Nigeria's mission is to become the preferred provider of value-added services to Africa. The exchange rate between the Naira and the US dollar closed at 416.67 naira to $1 at the official investors and exporters IEE window. The exchange rate at the IEE window depreciated further by 0.04% on Thursday to close at 416.67 naira to $1 compared to the 416.5 naira to $1 recorded the previous day. Naira fell at the peer-to-peer market on Friday morning to trade at 581.2 naira to $1, representing a 1.1% depreciation compared to 575 naira to $1 that it had maintained in the previous three trading sections. Nigeria and Japanese governments have announced the launch of an iHatch startup incubator program for boot camps to develop scalable business models in Nigeria. This was disclosed in a statement by a National Center for AI and Robotics in Nigeria, alongside the Japanese ambassador to Nigeria, with other dignitaries from the Japanese National Cooperation Agency. The program is expected to focus on ICT innovations and entrepreneurship. And that's it on business news. As the rest of the news continues, I am Jacinta Ubiuku.
Up next is entertainment news. Stay with us.
And in entertainment, Nollywood actress Kemi Afolabi has opened up on her incurable ailment, revealing that she was diagnosed with lupus. The actress would disclose that the doctor said she had 5 years to live, said she had lived just 1 year after the doctor's pronouncement. As she tearfully noted that she didn't know how much she had left. She noted that she paid 1.2 million naira on a treatment, yet it did not work, as she continually cried in pain, adding that she has written a will and has booked a space with a funeral ground after a diagnosis. Cora Obidi has spoken for the first time after her husband announced that he is divorcing her. The dancer did a video thanking her supporters for reaching out and for their concern, adding that it took strength to make the video for her fans. Cora welcomed her second child last week.
So I'm going to be 100% committed to taking care of my newborn and myself. Because the mama is good, baby's good. Thank you all for reaching out and for everything. I honestly don't know what I'll do without your support. I love you so much. Have a beautiful, blessed rest of your day. And I hope that me finding the strength to come up here will make you happy.
And on the foreign scene, Katy Perry has gained a major legal victory as a federal appeals court refused to reinstate a $2.8 million copyright infringement verdict against the American Idol judge. For the record, rapper Marcus Gray sued Perry back in 2014, accusing the pop star of ripping off his song Joyful Noise. Jurors previously ruled in his favor in 2019, but the verdict was overturned a year later, noting that the rhythm Perry allegedly copied was too simple for copyright protection. And that's all on entertainment. I am Ifeoluwa Oshunkeye.
The very best in sports is next.
And now sports. The Cape Coast Stadium, venue of Ghana's first leg Qatar 2022 World Cup qualifying playoff tie against Nigeria on March 25th, is currently in a bad shape and undergoing rehabilitation, just 15 days to the crucial World Cup qualifier. The stadium's football pitch was used as venue for the government's celebration of the country's 65th independence anniversary on March 6th, but the pitch is yet to wear a new look after it was badly damaged during the celebrations. Pictures on social media showed holes on the pitch, while others showed that work was still ongoing. According to reports in Ghana, the condition of the pitch might warrant the game to be moved to another venue in either Accra or Kumasi. Ghana Football Association had previously asked the Confederation of African Football to allow them move the game to another stadium. Former Chelsea manager and current Tottenham Hotspur head coach Antonio Conte says he wishes his old club all the best after the British government imposed sanctions against Russian owner Roman Abramovich. Abramovich, who had been under scrutiny following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, has announced he was selling the Premier League club last week. That process is now on hold, leaving the West London club ranked by Forbes as the 7th most valuable in world soccer at $3.2 billion in a state of limbo, operating under a special government license. The Russian bought the club in 2003 for a reported £140 million, and his investment resulted in the most successful era in their history as they won 5 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, and the Champions League twice. His purchase of the club helped transform the landscape of English football, with Chelsea breaking the stranglehold of Manchester United, Arsenal, and Liverpool.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, and honestly, and it's a pity. It's a pity also because I was the coach in this club in Chelsea, and I enjoyed 2 seasons, and also I won 2 titles, and I worked in this club, and it's a pity to listen this situation. It's not simple. It's not simple for the players. It's not simple for Thomas Tuchel, for the fans, for the whole environment, Chelsea environment, and honestly, I hope that in general, and that this situation between Russia and Ukraine is going to finish, and to find a peace.
Fabio Fognini made tennis history in Indian Wells when his victory over Pablo Andujar gave him the most wins on the ATP Tour by an Italian male. Fognini dropped the first set before rallying for a 3-6, 6-3, 6-3 win over Spaniard Andujar to advance to the second round of the BNP Paribas Open and move past Italian Adrian Panetta with 392 career wins. 34-year-old earned his first ATP Tour title in 2006 and has gone on to win 9 tournaments, one of them a Masters 1000 event in Paris in 2019. Fognini will face Georgian Nicolas Bashishvili in the second round.
Second set. Fognini, 6 games to 3.
And that's all from the world of sports. My name is Wale Scott. Do have yourself a good night rest.
And the main news again. Panel orders NDLEA chairman to produce Abba Kyari over human rights violations. "123 more Nigerians return home from Ukraine amid invasion by Russia." And President Philippe Nyusi says Cyclone Gombe has claimed 7 lives. That's the news now. For more stories, please follow us at PlusTvAfrica on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. I'm Tolu Ojomi. Thanks for watching and do have a good night.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Tea Time, the entertainment show that gives you proper insight to all the trending entertainment topics. My name is Elile, and with me today is the ever beautiful and stunning Belema.
It's the intro for me, though.
It's always the intro for
you.
It's
the intro. How are you, Elile?
I'm doing very great.
You look
It is the weekend, so you already know that this
Friday,
is my favorite.
Friday, okay.
You know you are saying Friday.
I'm
Do you
so
have
happy.
any
Yeah, I
plans for
have
this weekend? Where are you
plans.
taking me to?
You know that beach? Boy, like it yet?
All right, that's where we're going.
Bro, I'm so excited. Today's Friday.
How's your week been so far?
It has been stressful. It has been a lot. Like, I have been looking forward to Friday.
I'm always looking forward to Friday.
You know, Friday is very therapeutical.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's as if just the notion of it's Friday.
Friday,
it makes you
the
feel
stress just
better,
goes down.
no matter how stressed
But then
you
you
are.
blink and then you're already on
Monday
morning.
Well, we are going to get there. So remember that you can now join in on the conversation by calling in on 09098 408 408 to share your opinions on trending discussions. As you already know, we bring to you trending videos every day on Tea Time, and today is no different. So here's our first trending video.
So, guys, I would like to ask a question. Those of you that stay in spacious houses alone, do you ever get the feeling like you're not really alone? Like there's someone in the house with you? Like, it just, every once in a while you'd hear this like noises, it's like creaking doors and stuff. Just like that, right? Just get the general sense that you're really not alone. Who was that? What the hell? That was...